Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
No getting commentary on the case. He Anglican, please.
Is that correct?
Oh, for crumb's sake! I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
All right, we need to cut the music short. Welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. Court started early.
Ryan Gibbard
What's
had
with
been
that?
a witness. Retaliate means to commit or attempt to commit a crime against a witness, to threaten to kill or injure any person, or to threaten to cause property damage.
They just came back from
Threat
lunch.
does not have to be stated in any particular terms, but must express a warning of danger or harm. Further, it must have been meant as a true threat and not, for example, idle talk,
And the judge
a
is reading
statement
jury
made in jest,
instructions.
or a solely political comment. It must have been made under circumstances where a reasonable person would think that others may take the threat seriously as expressing an intent to inflict harm or damage.
This just barely started.
It does not matter whether the defendant actually intended to carry out the threat or could carry out the threat. As stated, a person
Greeners,
accused
welcome
of
to
a
First
crime
in
is
Chat.
presumed to be innocent.
Internet's yours.
This means that you must start with the presumption that the defendant is innocent. This presumption continues throughout the trial and entitles the defendant to a verdict of not guilty unless you are satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt that he is guilty. Every crime is made up of parts called elements. The prosecutor must prove each element of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant is not required to prove his innocence or to do anything. If you find the prosecutor has not proven every element beyond a reasonable doubt, then you must find the defendant not guilty. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt is proof that leaves you firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt. A reasonable doubt is a fair, honest doubt growing out of the evidence or
The
lack of
defendant's
it.
rocking his
It's not
chair.
merely an imaginary or possible doubt, but a doubt based on reason and common sense. A reasonable doubt is just that, a doubt that is reasonable after a careful and considered examination of the facts and circumstances of this case. And a trial follows this procedure. First, the prosecutor makes an opening statement where he gives his theories about the case. The defendant's lawyer does not have to make an opening statement, but she may make an opening statement after the prosecutor makes his, or she may wait until later. These statements are not evidence.
Okay,
They are
I'm
only meant
completely
to
wrong.
help you
I'm
understand
completely
how
wrong.
each side views the case.
Pause.
Next, the prosecutor presents.
It showed that it was live, and it's playing the old one. That's the part we missed, the jury instructions. It hasn't gone live yet. It was a replay, so I'm sorry. I will just...
Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
Man, I was wondering, I'm like, why did they start early? He said 1 o'clock, and it's still, 5 till. Oh, man. Okay, my bad. Sorry, my mistake, Judge Boyd. I apologize. My mistake. We are waiting for Huron County. I just checked on another device. The one device showed it was live, and I clicked on it, and that's where it went. So I thought, must be jury instructions. I'm slacking. Can we sit now? Yes, you may. Well, not yet. Like, technically, you can sit on the floor, but I have to run the chairs. I have to, run a quick broom over everything, sweep up the popcorn and everything. Okay, now go ahead and have a seat. I cleaned up the entire place. Never going to give you up. Welcome. Thought it seemed odd. It was truly odd. I'm like, what in the world? I've never seen a court be early back from lunch like this. And because I had missed it the first time, I thought we were in good shape. But first share was for you. So I had to encourage a squirrel to get off my house on lunch. Let's see. It worked. I successfully encouraged him to get off the house. With 4 successive encouragements, it returned back to the trees where it should belong. And it's no worse for the wear. Maybe its pride was wounded a little bit. Might have a little bruise, but something in your PO box you might need to try on the podcast tomorrow. The podcast is tonight, Britt Bottoms. We moved it to Wednesday night this week only, so maybe it'll have to wait a week, or it depends what it is. Those that are curious on the first in chat, you have to switch your view from top chat to live chat, and it'll then put everyone in order based on when it occurred. Sometimes, depending on what YouTube thinks is important for you to see, it might put somebody else's comment above or eliminate somebody else's comment on if you only look at top chat. So, just a heads up. Switch to live chat, and the top will show live chat will show who the first chatter was. That's what I do every time we check to see who wins. Greeners asks, is there controversy? There's always controversy, Greeners, when you win. Of course. When does RA find a pile of acorns stashed in his ceiling? Soon. Chat isn't on screen. Au contraire. I'm just kidding. I've just fixed it. Apparently, the hype function on a video is not available until it's not live. So if you want to hype a video, you have to go back to one that we played previously, and then you can hype it. But we get probably 90% of our views on each video during live, not on the replay. So hype is not working for us very well. Did you ever find washable fake blood for Halloween? Yes, it should arrive today or tomorrow. Had to get it off eBay. I bought about half a gallon of it. That should be enough, I figure. That's a lot of blood, right? Half a gallon. It's not just washable fake blood. It is also UV reactive, so it glows as well under black light, which was very important for me. And it was very difficult to find that kind that could get to us in time. Can we get a brief summary of this court case that we're watching right now? Yes, Lori. What we have, we're in Bad Axe, Michigan, at a little tiny courthouse that we've been to before. We watched the ice fishing trial here, if you remember. I think it was Mr. Carr, the ice fishing trial that had the very spicy body cam footage. Very, very spicy in every way. We're back. We're back in that same trial. This is a case that began with a marriage, which led to a divorce. The divorce led to a protective order. In the hearing for the protective order, a man testified against the ex-husband. That man has since become the husband, and the ex-husband then was at a bar. The wife with her new husband came in. Words were said, possibly a shoulder was thrown, and now we have an intimidating witnesses charge because the ex-husband said, "You're gonna have a reckoning for testifying against me in the PPO." So that's why we're here, and we are in fact
we will
here.
continue with the prosecution's case in chief. Mr. Pahani, you may call your next witness.
The people call Ryan Gibbert to the stand, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I've learned 5 new words. I learned 1, but I learned it really well. It is, in fact, Bad Axe, Michigan. Like this. And this all happened at the Bottoms Up Bar, which is represented on our thumbnail in more ways than one.
Sir, would you please step up to the witness stand just to my right? Sir, before having a seat, would you please raise your right hand?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Who do you pay if you lose, Red? He should be in plaid.
Honey, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir. Can you please state your name and spell your last name for the benefit of the court recorder?
Ryan Gibbard, Gibbard.
And Mr. Gibbard, do you know the defendant in this case, Ronald Brady?
Yes.
How do you know him?
Just years of being around and stuff like that.
Do you see him here in the courtroom?
Yes.
Can you please point to him and tell me what he's wearing?
Black coat.
For the record, please reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant.
Good shot.
Do you also know an individual who was formerly known by the name of Jessica Pratt, now Jessica Gibbard?
Yes.
And how do you know her?
She is my wife.
And
he's the guy.
Did there come a time in May of 2024 where you appeared as a witness in a personal protection order hearing?
Yes.
And who was seeking that personal protection order?
My wife, Jessica.
And who was she seeking that against?
Ronald.
And who were you testifying for?
Jessica.
And when you came to testify, did you take an oath just as you did now to swear to tell the truth?
Yes.
And was your testimony during those proceedings the truth?
Yes.
Now, moving forward to December 27th of 2024, were you with formerly Miss Pratt on that evening?
Yes.
And where were you?
We had went out to Bottoms Up to meet with some friends.
And is that in the city of Bad Axe?
Yes.
In Huron County, Michigan?
Yep.
So when you entered Bottoms Up, did you see the defendant?
No, not right off the get-go, no.
Okay. When did you first see him?
We were making our way to the bar and saying hello to friends at the normal table that we usually sit at, and I got shoulder checked quite aggressively. Wasn't like somebody was just walking by and you bumped into. It was quite aggressively. I looked up and it was Ron.
It was like a hockey check.
Describe what you mean by getting shoulder checked. What does that look like?
No, like I said, it wasn't like just somebody walking by, like brushed up against you. I mean, he laid his shoulder into me pretty good, and he said something, but I couldn't recall I couldn't make it out what he said.
And what part of your body did he make contact with his shoulder?
The left shoulder.
Your left shoulder? Okay.
I was walking one way and he was walking the other way.
Now, after that happened, did he stay at the bar or did he leave?
He went back to his seat. He stayed there for a little bit. He was drinking his drink, and me and my wife were contemplating about, because she's like, I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. She's like, maybe we should just go. And I just hold on, we'll see. He eventually finished his drink and left. And I was like, well, he did what he had to do.
Now, later that evening, did you see him again at the bar?
Yes.
About how long after he left would you say that you saw him again?
Probably about an hour and a half later.
And did you make contact with him then?
I actually went to where we were sitting. There was a wall and I didn't see him, and I went around the corner to get another drink, and he was right there in my face.
And what did he do or say to you then?
Right up to me, put his finger in my face and said I was a dead motherfucker.
Did he say anything else?
No, I actually said to him, I said, for what, Bose?
And how did he respond?
And he said, because you took the stand against me.
What happened after that?
Both of our voices got raised. It sort of got quiet in that corner, and I actually yelled for Tracy, the bartender, and he was proceeding to the door. He told me to come on, big boy, let's go outside, take care of this.
Did you follow him outside?
No, actually, Joan, one of our friends, come and pulled me back to the table, and Tracy actually pushed him out the door.
So did you go with Joan back to your table? So what was the defendant doing while he was making those statements to you?
he was just ranting and raving, you know, come on, big boy, let's go outside, let's take care of this, flying his arms in the air, you know, and stuff like that.
So when he said that to you, when he said you're a dead MF, what did you take that to mean?
He was gonna beat me up, like, cause harm to me.
Did you believe what he said?
Yes.
How close was Jessica to where this was all happening?
20, 30 feet away, but there was a wall. Like I said, there's a wall right there, so I don't believe she's seen anything from what I know.
And so is it fair to say that the next day you met with Officer Hessling of the Bad Axe Police Department?
Yes.
And you spoke to him about what happened that evening?
Yes.
And you also provided him a written statement?
Yes.
Is your testimony today consistent with those statements that you gave Officer Hessling?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have nothing further at this time.
Cross-examination.
So he was mad that you testified against him, not that you dated or broke up the marriage or married his ex-wife or anything. He was mad that you testified against him. That's interesting. Wonder if there was, I mean, clearly there was something going on when the PPO came around that he was able to testify. So they must have been at least acquaintances at that point. I love that he called out for the bartender. Ma'am, bartender,
So,
help.
About what time did you arrive at Bottoms Up that night?
Had been karaoke had already started, so it was definitely after 8 o'clock, so probably 8:30ish.
Was the bar busy?
It was busy but not packed. The bar was completely full, and then the group of people that we hang out with, they had a good crowd at their table. And
Okay. Did you and your now wife, did you drive to the bar that night
yes,
in your vehicle?
yes.
So you had recently indicated that Mr. Grady said you were a dead mother effer or whatnot, and that you took whatever he said to be true. Why didn't you report this incident immediately then?
I didn't have a PPO against them. I mean, and after talking about it, my wife just wanted to have like an incident reported just in case if there was other incidences.
But with what Mr. Grady said, he made a statement to you, not toward your wife, correct?
Right.
So if you could, or if you remember, about how long was this interaction between you and Mr. Grady?
30 seconds to a minute.
And obviously, it's clear to say that there is animosity between yourself and Mr. Grady. You guys don't get along.
We had no problems until I started seeing my wife. That's his ex-wife.
So since then, though, it hasn't been a great relationship.
No. Sure.
Just a couple more questions, Mr. Gibbard. So you said that Mr. Grady had indicated that you were a done mother effer, and did he ever say that he was going to shoot you?
No.
Did he ever say he was going to physically beat you up?
Just that. I mean, he didn't say he was going to beat me up, and just that dead MRFers that he gave me.
Were you dead?
And that's all that you recall about it.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm dead, you had to do something to me. If I'm a dead MFer.
Okay.
I was talking to Mrs.
They
R.A.
didn't talk about how.
cookies.
No.
I have no.
Thank you. Redirect.
I have no redirect, Your Honor.
You may step down.
We might be done with witnesses
On to
here.
your next witness.
Your Honor, with the admission of People's Exhibits 1 and 2 and the testimony of the 5 previous witnesses, the people rest.
People rest. Here we go. Defense, do you have a
Members
case?
of the jury, we are going to take a very short recess. Hope to reconvene momentarily. Again, I have to remind you of the instruction. You're not to discuss the case or any aspects relative to the case, and we will reconvene in just a few moments. All right.
Mrs. R.A. and I were having a very important discussion about what type of cookies she should make for my enjoyment. And she listed several: chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, pumpkin chocolate chip. And I said, snickerdoodle. And we then began a discussion about whether or not that was one of the options. Me saying it was because she asked what kind of cookie, and her saying, why don't you choose one of the ones I chose for you? So I've stuck to snickerdoodle. I'm not sure what she's going to make. I like them. They're good. There's like a sugar cookie. They're delicious. They're delicious. We should have a motion judgment of acquittal of some sort. Rule 29, whatever what they call it here in Michigan. Let's give us just a minute to see if.
To show that the elements of this charge can be met.
Very well, you may proceed.
Here's the motion.
So, Your Honor, so far it's been testified to that my client has said that told this person who's a dead mother effer or whatnot. I feel as though that could be considered as more of idle talk or whatnot. I don't believe that it constitutes a true threat. There is no indication as to how anything would happen. In regards to the body cam that was shown of my client speaking to the officer, he indicated that there would be a reckoning or whatnot for this person, for Mr. Gibbard. That also, I don't believe that would constitute a true threat. There's really no substance to that. The actual term of reckoning, basically, is when someone is held accountable for any of their wrongdoings or whatnot. Typically, I feel like it's more referred to in the Bible as a day where, where Christ comes back and it's a judgment day, essentially. And that's not anything my client would even be capable of. I believe that these statements were made out of
My client is not God, Your Honor.
anger or whatnot, but there's no true threat here. Like as I indicated, I believe that if anything at most it's idle talk. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
What about the parking lot? Let's go.
Your Honor, the people cite People v. Mayhall, 454, Mitch 1, at page 6, a 1997 case, in that a directed verdict of acquittal is appropriate only if considering all of the evidence in the light most favorable to the prosecution. No rational trier of fact could find that the essential elements of the crime charge were proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Your Honor, this particular crime has 2 elements. First, that Ryan Gibbard was a witness at an official proceeding. I don't believe that's in question. The court can take judicial notice of its own records and understand that Mr. Gibbard did indeed appear at a PPO hearing before this honorable court and testified, just as he's testified under oath today, that he was a witness in that particular hearing. The question, though, is on the second element, that in where the people must prove that the defendant retaliated, attempted to retaliate, or threatened to retaliate against Ryan Gibbard for having been a witness. And then we have the definition of retaliation. And then the further instruction on the jury, the model jury instruction here, is that it must have been meant as a true threat and not, for example, idle talk, a statement made in jest, or a solely political comment. It must have been made under circumstances where a reasonable person would think that others may take the threat seriously as expressing an intent to inflict harm or damage. The court has already heard testimony from the witness that he believed the threat. And the question of whether a reasonable person would believe the threat is a question of fact for the jury. They are the fact finders, and they are the individuals who must apply the reasonable person standard as to element 2. So we would respectfully ask the court to deny the motion for direct verdict.
That's it, rebuttal. Thank you. The court rule in question is MCR 6.419, and the court rule reads in part that a directed verdict of acquittal is appropriate after only if, considering all the evidence in light most favorable to the prosecution, that no reasonable trier of fact could find the essential elements of the crime charged were proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And that is the standard of proof the court has to provide relative to a motion for directed verdict of acquittal. There are two elements to the charge that Mr. Grady is facing. First count, or I should say the first element, is that Ryan Gibbard was a witness at an official proceeding, defined in short here as a judicial or other governmental proceeding authorized to hear evidence under oath. And the court does take judicial notice of its own record, which is not indicative in this file before the jury, but it was also testified to by Mr. Gibbard, and it was also mentioned by Ms. Gibbard that indeed Ryan Gibbard did testify at a proceeding previously, that is requesting, not Mr. Gibbard, but Ms. Pratt at the time's request for a personal protection order. There was a hearing on the matter based upon the evidence presented. The court authorized the petition. So clearly there is evidence for purposes of element one that a reasonable trier of fact could decide that element. Regarding count or element number two, that the defendant either retaliated, attempted to retaliate, or threatened to retaliate against Ryan Gibbard for having been a witness. Retaliate means to commit or attempt to commit a crime against the witness, to threaten to kill or injure any person, or to threaten to cause property damage. And when you look at what is defined as a threat under the jury instructions, it does not have to be stated in any particular terms, but must express a warning of danger or harm. It must be meant as a true threat and not, for example, idle talk, a statement made in jest, or a solely political statement. It must have been made under circumstances where a reasonable person would think that others may take the threat seriously as expressing an intent to inflict harm or damage. And it does not matter whether the defendant actually intended to carry out the threat or could carry out the threat. There was testimony provided during the course of the trial by Mr. Gibbard that he had entered the bar between 8 and 8:30-ish. Sometime after entering the bar, he did not immediately notice Mr. Grady inside the bar. Eventually noticed him as he was going up to as Mr. Gibbard was going up to get a drink. And they were, according to Mr. Gibbard, they were walking opposite directions. They met up at a particular portion of the bar, I don't know where, but inside the establishment, where he described being shoulder checked quite aggressively. He also, and Mr. Gibbard also said something was stated by the defendant, but it could not be made out. The testimony further indicated that at the end of that alleged fracas, or if you want to call it that, encounter maybe, the witness, Mr. Gibbard, testified that he observed the defendant finish his drink. He went to the other part of the bar, that is Mr. Grady, paid his tab, and left. He further testified that about an hour to an hour and a half later, the defendant returned to the bar. Mr. Gibbard testified that the defendant was in his face, put his finger in his face, and said, I was a dead mother effer. Not that F, he used the full F word, believe me, according to testimony.
What the full
And
F?
he further testified, because you took the stand against me, there were voices raised. According to Mr. Gibbard, the barkeep, Tracy, was notified, and she came in and had the defendant escorted out or near the door, but he was taken outside. Mr. Gibbard further testified he had heard the defendant say on a couple of occasions, let's go outside, big boy, and take care of this. However, Mr. Gibbard went back to his table, and according to Mr. Gibbard, he stated he took the threat seriously and thought that he could be harmed. Now, the response to that by the defense is that, well, wait, this is a comment in jest. It could be a comment in jest. It could also be a threat as well, but the court finds that there is sufficient evidence for a jury to decide that fact relative to this claim. So there is certainly sufficient evidence to present this to the jury. There's a significant question of fact relative to element number 2. As a result, the motion for directed verdict of acquittal pursuant to MCR 6.419 is respectfully denied. Ms. Siv, I noticed that there were no witnesses on your witness list. Do you intend to call anyone in this proceeding moving forward?
Mayor, I would like to, if I could have a few moments to speak to my client and then let the court know.
Absolutely, and we can proceed in that fashion. The reason we do that is if there is a decision not to have the defendant testify, the court would prefer to place it on the record, versus if he wishes to testify, to place that on the record as well, so we have a clear record moving forward. We'll take a short recess, allow you that opportunity. How much time do you need?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. We'll reconvene at 1:37.
All right, so they are done. They are done for now. What just happened there was expected. We have a judgment of acquittal motion, which is when the defense basically says, Your Honor, the state didn't prove the case. They didn't prove the elements of the case. There are things they have to do for the jury. They have to say the following things, and they didn't do it. The judge says, well, actually, the way I read the law, they did, or at least they did to the point where a reasonable trier of fact, read insert jury member, could look at those facts and say, yep, they proved it beyond a reasonable doubt. And so the judgment to just have the judge say, you're acquitted right now, they didn't prove it, that was denied. Now we're going to see if the only person for the defense takes the stand, and that will be the defendant himself. And they're going to take about 10 minutes to figure that out. So I'm going to keep watching for that, which will be happening over here on the court's channel once again. So we'll keep playing that game. Jamie Latorno. I literally live here now. Have we ever seen a judgment of acquittal? Yes, in part. I would say in part. I'm trying to think. We might have actually had a full one. Not on a big trial. Not on a really big trial. But we've seen some, yes. Verdict music way before podcast this evening? I sure hope so. I think the jury only needs about 10 minutes. And by the way, Jamie, 30 months. OG. Thank you very much. A couple of you have reached out to me. I need to say this again. I'm terribly frustrated with this situation. A couple of you reached out to me regarding the hoodies, the prison breakout hoodies. The manufacturer says they're way behind schedule, and they're trying to get caught up, and they don't know when it's going to ship. Some people who got their hoodies said it took weeks longer than expected. I'm very frustrated with this. I'm looking for a new manufacturer. If you have an issue with an order you placed with one of the vendors, this would be Teespring that makes those hoodies for us. You should have an order confirmation number, and you should have and I think we have a number. Do you guys have the numbers? A red pen, like a phone number you can call and give them that and say, look, this is taking too long. You demands that the order be canceled because it has not been shipped. There's been no update. You can try that and keep me updated. That's what they said that they should do. I don't know if they can give you an update, and maybe if they are, you might say, hey, well, if it's going to be a couple more days, I can wait for it. But it's yeah. All right. Waiting for the trial to come back here so we can see how this one ends, to see if the bottoms-up trial ends with a lockdown on the defendant. Who pays for these ridiculous trials? They brought it to trial, right? They should pay for the court time, not the taxpayers. It's actually your right as a citizen to have a jury trial in just about every case. Let's see. There's the support link right there. Thank you, Red Pen, for that. And you will need your order number to pursue that. They won't let me handle it on my end. I can't see the order numbers and everything. But we want to make it right. So it ended with a what? It hasn't ended yet. Finished the emoji trial. If anyone's confused, bad acts leads to love, marriage. Broken heart leads to divorce. They're not talking to him. Go to the drink at the bottoms up, and they see each other at karaoke night, plus a little alcohol. The two have an altercation, and this guy says, "I'm going to beat you up." And then the police are called. Something like that. No contact order. Well, that's no contact order. I'm sorry. This is a no contact order. Okay. I think that's a divorce. Broken heart leads to no contact. He can't talk to her, but he goes to the bar with a bunch of people at karaoke night, has a drink, sees her, has an altercation with him. Okay, I think I got it. There's the Breeze recap. That's going to go in the that's going to go on the thumbnail. Love the karaoke emojis. Yeah, I've got to keep watching for the new thumbnail. This one was very literal. Divorce is the broken heart. I just, every time I see this courtroom, I think about the ice fishing trial, which was actually quite interesting. I mean, the facts of that case were quite unique in that it was basically nearly an attempted murder by boat, by driving too close to ice fishermen on the ice, and the boat was breaking up the ice, and the one guy fell in, had to be rescued. It was wild. And I guess bad acts is a bad place to be. They got some problems there. Good thing you've got two bartenders that are really good bouncers as well. Those ladies are not to be messed with. I enjoyed the ice fishing trial. I did as well. Let's see. Sorry, I have to keep refreshing this, and I don't want to miss a thing on this one because it goes so fast. We could have verdict music before we know it. We are in the Huron County 52nd Circuit Court of Michigan. State of Michigan, County of Huron. There's the ice fishing trial. Thank you, Red Pen. That was a fun one. Once I did the Teespring support webpage and the chat box support. Once the shirt is in production, you cannot cancel your order. Did you talk to someone, like in an email, or did you just look on the app? Here we go. That was 30 minutes ago. Man, I keep thinking the live is there. Still not live. Defendant is still deciding if he's going to testify. Honestly, it doesn't look good for him, but I don't know what testifying will do for him. He sees the facts differently. He says, I didn't go back in. Everyone else says you did. The cop says you did. He admitted on camera, on body cam, basically most of the offense. Whether or not he went back in or not is irrelevant at this point because he's not being charged with violating the PPO. He's being charged with, witness intimidation, trying to, or retaliation, excuse me. The hiccup struck something fierce. Red Pen, you also had a delayed hoodie delivery? Is the lens on the camera behind you clean? It might just be blurry. Let's see. Let me focus it. Let's go full screen. It's actually fairly in focus.
Happy birthday. You look good.
Make it blurry again. Hang on. It's not changing anything right now. Let's try this one. Looks pretty clear. I think that's pretty good. They're still not back. Wonder if he wants to represent himself now. The lawyer's saying, "Don't do it." He's saying, I want to tell my story." Pretty much anything he says is going to make it worse. They can 3D print you a hoodie. If Adam Nuska was here, he'd vote Snickerdoodle too. I just adjusted the camera settings a tiny bit. It's been 11 minutes since they broke, and let's see if they come back here. Fun fact about this little court: the judge controls the cameras with his little remote. He actually controls where the camera's looking personally. Jumps through the presets on a little pan tilt zoom camera. It's taking longer than expected. Not sure why. It's actually a pretty simple decision here. They came with no witnesses, right? No witnesses for the defense. Take your time, guys. Let's see if I can find them somewhere else. They're not back yet. Not missing anything, but I don't think they're going to need a lot of time to wrap this one up. Didn't we have a problem with them during the ice fishing trial as well? With them not starting the feed promptly at one point? Can't keep looking at that and at you guys in chat, so let's give them a minute. Costco run is done. Fruit duty for my daughter's cherry team is not cheap. Still talking about cookies, I see, which is appropriate. The audio was hot on that one. Yeah, I'm guessing that the Bad Axe, Michigan, is not like just rolling in taxpayer funds. They don't have just excess, upon excess to spend on updates in the courtroom. The microphones they use are battery-powered wireless microphones, it appears, and they're not the best. No updates to this courtroom in quite a while, as you can see from the paint on the wall. Oh, cheer team. Cheer team. The cherry cheering. Got it. Bad Axe is very small. Just a small town. Apparently hunting, fishing, both big hobbies up there, and I guess drinking as well. You do what you can in the wintertime up there to stay warm and entertained. But
Happy birthday. You look good.
thank you, Judge Fleischer. Appreciate that. Small town, 3,000 people. That's tiny. I mean, that's smaller than the town I live in, which is also small. Well, I'll be. 16 minutes ago, they went to a break and have not returned. I have to jump to another court while we wait for them to return. That's a quick way to get them to come back. Oh, that's the DV. Almost went to Thurston, but it's a DV issue. Domestic violence. Bummer. Four bars in a town of 2,900 people. Yikes. What is the proper ratio? But bottoms up is catering. Do you like crunchy cookies or soft? I prefer soft, but not so soft that they crumble apart. Looks like there are about 4 bars in Bad Axe. Bad Axe named after the fact that they actually found an old worn down axe in the area in the 1800s. Hence Bad Axe. Okay, we're now 18 minutes since the last stream. They said they only needed 10 minutes. Tomorrow we will be returning to the Dustin Duran trial. We're following. Had a day off today with no witnesses available, so That's why we're doing a little court hopping today. Thought this one would fill the gap. I'm hoping we get some verdict music. It's possible they won't go live until there is a verdict. We've got part 2 done. The whole trial took less than 2 hours. If we cut lunchtime out of it. It's a big question being asked right now. Perhaps Bottoms Up is the only good bar in Bad Axe. I don't know. I don't know which one's what. You know they have a pool table and karaoke. My village is 300 people, and I think we have around 15 bars. Lots of lake people on the weekends and summers. 15. The ratio there is crazy. 15 bars for 300 people. You get 20 people per bar, according to my math. Is that right? Did he testify? He's deciding whether or not he's going to right now. That's what we're waiting for. And we're hoping that once he does decide, the judge will then let us hear how the trial ends. I want to hear the closings. I want to hear instructions to the jury. Let's see. Who's following the Louvre heist? Oh my goodness, this is terrible, terribly embarrassing. I think I would say for the French police. The Louvre, or the Louvre, depending on how you say it, the incredible museum that houses many, many great works of art, which you're probably familiar with, was robbed in broad daylight just a couple days ago. And the thieves used a construction, like a sky ladder, pallet jack type thing, like one of those big, long forklift things that can extend, to smash in a window. They went in, smashed a couple displays, and ran out, and got away on scooters. Now, when you say scooters, it could mean either like a Vespa or a little kid's little foot scooter. I'm thinking Vespa is what they did, but they got away. And Vespas, in traffic, they're highly maneuverable. So they grabbed the crown jewels, literally. They did end up dropping one very, very huge, posh, expensive crown. Landed on 102 million worth of jewels. So they got some. Yeah, they dropped that crown. I think a gem fell out on the sidewalk, and somebody picked it up and was like, hey, isn't this supposed to be inside? They got that back. It's damaged, but they got that back. But some are missing, like tiaras and things are just gone. I don't know how you're going to pawn those, because pretty much any pawn shop would be like, hang on, let me call a guy first, right? Let me just call real quick and check, have a guy just to, make sure everything's on the up and up here. Unless they melt it down for gold value and try to sell the gems individually, which also would be difficult because of some of these gems are so fancy they have their own names, not just like, oh, that's a diamond or that's a sapphire. No, but that is the blank 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 diamond, or the such and such sapphire. So, private collection. Yeah, where would you ever display it? Hey, I found this random sapphire on the sidewalk. Just some emeralds and sapphires and diamonds and, a couple pounds of gold. Gems will be recut. They won't be sold as is. But if they're, I don't know if they have technology for identifying gems is really good. I guess recutting would probably fix that, but if there's a very unique inclusion, it could still possibly be identified. I could use a tiara while I do the dishes. They'll never find them again. They're in a private collection somewhere, but the one earring they left behind, oops. Well, they were in a rush. The whole thing took like 10 minutes, which is basically an eternity, right? Any bank robbery movie, you'll know that you've only got like 45 seconds, right, before the police show up. 10 minutes? They could have like toured a whole wing of the museum and then left and been okay. So really a dark mark on the police work there. Almost makes you wonder if there was some sort of inside job at hand. Thank you to whomever gifted. I wasn't available till now. Robin Stout, welcome. Good to have you in the gallery. 11 months. Thank you, thank you. Heart of the Ocean for $300 on eBay. Yeah, like that. Let's see. Can you imagine just doing housework in that crown? I can't imagine even just wearing it. The guards just filmed. They're like, sir, I have to tell you, I have a camera and I am filming. Sir, don't do that, please. Please return the crown jewels of France. Sir, don't put that in your bag. No, sir, you can't leave with that. I'm not going to stop you, but I have to tell you, what you're doing is breaking the law and you are a bad person now, and I am going to film this. This will go viral on the internet. That's basically how the defense, how the guards put a stop to it. Someone got fired, I'm sure, or got promoted, depending on which side they were on. They learned it all from Ocean's 11. Great movie. Bottoms up like rear ends. Meanie Banana, that's sort of what we hinted at. Maybe museums should have a reinforced window. Or maybe police should ask questions when a 2-mile-an-hour construction vehicle pulls up and smashes in one of the windows of the Louvre, and people start climbing up the ladder and through the window. There could have been a couple indicators that it was a problem. Any guesses on who did it? I'm sure it's organized crime. It is a in plain sight heist. Okay, they're not coming back. They're not coming back. It's been 27 minutes. Well, we'll keep our ear to the ground. If anything happens on this trial, we'll tell you. But until then, we're going to go somewhere else because test the verdict music. We'll turn it back on. It works. It works. Did he pull a Farag? I think possibly. Amos has been around since Murdaugh verdict, and that was crazy. Live chase with a guy in the white truck huffing on something in a tank. Oh, my goodness. That was a wild one as well. Welcome, OG. Thank you so much. Good to have you here. Did they let the jury walk around? The jury was out. So, yes, they were walking around. Let's see. Pull a frog has a real meaning. It does. We all know frog. The Brits are more careful with their crown jewels.
I got a stubby little pencil.
Yep, we got Mr. Frog right there.
Someone with more experience.
And there.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
And there. We got all of Mr. Frog's. Thank you. Did you get my earlier message about the hoodies? Let me check. Did it come on the burner phone or email? A couple of you said it took much longer to receive yours than you expected. That's awesome. Check an email now. Oh, we have a phone call. That's even better. Hello?
Call from Sloth Life.
Sloth Life.
Accept, press 1. To send.
Sloth Life, are you there?
Hiya.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can.
I'm doing great. I just thought I'll phone you because I've not had a wee blather for ages. So. No, I ordered a hoodie last week, just after you announced that there were shipping problems, prior, just before. No, but I'd sent a message in chat earlier. I got an email today saying mine has been shipped and it's getting delivered tomorrow or Friday.
Well, that's good news. I think.
Well, it's good, but I don't know what's happened to everyone else then. So it's just, if mine turns up, I'll let you know. But I don't know why mine would come before everyone else.
Probably because they fulfill from multiple locations, and there might be one location they're having trouble with. And with you being in Scotland, you probably come from a local location somewhere in Europe or something.
Oh, right. Okay.
That might be it. But I'm happy you're getting it. That's good news.
I'm happy too, because it's the orange one for the Prison Break hoodie.
Yes, that's great.
So I'm happy about that one, yes. I thought even maybe phoning it might have tempted the court to come back in.
Normally it works. I started checking as soon as you called, but so far, no luck. So
No go.
No go.
No. Oh well, maybe he has pulled a farag then and just left us all. Such a shame.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that hopefully my hoodie is getting delivered tomorrow or Friday.
Wonderful.
And I'm looking forward to seeing all the Halloween decorations, trick or treat, as you say, trick or treat decorations. I'm looking forward to that live stream. That'll be great.
I'm excited about that as well. So thank you, Sloth Life.
Yeah.
Appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Speak soon. Bye.
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 Nercast de Clute till me azut. Is that still right? Is that what she taught me? Angie Lee John. Is that right? Angie. OG, time flies 29 months. OG! Absolutely. Wow, 29 months. It did go very fast. Wonderful to have you here. Wouldn't be the same without you. Sloth Life needs to call in daily. I've seen the Scottish Crown Jewels. They don't mess with the Scottish. Your name got switched. It did. Everybody's name got switched to their handle. And there are ways you can actually get that fixed if you want to change your handle. But it takes a little bit of work on your YouTube channel. They're not back. It's been 32 minutes since he said it's going to be 10-minute discussion with my client. Where's closing arguments? Did the dude just make a run for it? It did work for Frog. Doesn't make it better. He will get picked up eventually on a warrant. All right. Closing time. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to another court. We've got to find another trial, something we can watch this afternoon. Even if it's just a little bit of, well, it can be Thurston. Sorry. No domestic violence ones. Those are no fun. Let's see if Judge Dad is.
If you please.
Whoa. Easy there, Judge Dad. Hang on. Might have a couple of him. Hold on one second.
Penalties are up to $300 in fines, 93 days jail, 360 hours community service. Court costs are all those 4 points, license suspension or revocation in accordance with your record. And
we need to be right up here because we watched some of this. He went on the break. I think we went to right here, right? Where was the dude he went on a break for?
lawyer going forward, okay? Thank you.
All right, and what was her bond, Judge?
I'm giving her a $500 personal bond. You cannot leave the state without consent. You cannot violate a law. You must appear in court as directed. Do you understand all that?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll give you a petition for court appointed, fill it out, then go down the hall, get your notice. Wish you well. Jonathan Patrick Johnson. Jonathan Patrick Johnson, 25B1489318.
Attorney Mike Baldwin, counsel, D65417.
Mr. Johnson, you have to unmute and tell me your
I
name,
think Mr.
sir.
Johnson's got a cold. He's sick. Can't go to jail today.
Jonathan Johnson.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, so we have a prior, and you are from Detroit, right?
Yes.
You've been considered enough about
Okay,
him.
they
to
just
show
went
up.
live.
He
They
has-
just went live. Sorry. Huron County just finally came back live. So give me just a second. Tell me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It shows they went live on my other computer, but it's not showing live now on my my Mac. Let me listen in.
And based upon what you've stated to the court, I believe you would repeat to the, or reply to the court that the defense rests, and then we'll begin with closing arguments. We ready for the jury counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring in the jury.
All right.
Hang on, I'm going to get video here in just a second. Right now, it's just not, it's not refreshing. Bring it on a different channel for a second. Huron County 52nd Circuit Court. Okay, we'll bring it in right here for now. How about that? At least you can see, and then I'll get the other one going here.
Please be seated. Members of the jury, welcome back. We took a brief recess to prepare everything. And moving forward, the people have rested in this case. And Ms. Siff, do you wish to present any proofs?
No, Your Honor, the defense right.
Very well, thank you. The defense is rested in this matter. The proofs have been entered in this matter. And now it is time for closing arguments. Mr. Bahani, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you again for your attention today. I know there was a lot to listen to and exhibits to review, and you may still want to review those exhibits again when you go to deliberate, and that's okay. All you have to do is ask for those items, and it'll be sent back to you in the jury room. But let's just recap a little bit from where we started back when I started talking to you at about 10:30, 10:40 this morning. The trial has unfolded now in the manner that we kind of expected it to from the opening statement. You first heard from Tracy Head, who was the bartender at Bottoms Up on the evening of December 27th, 2024. Now, admittedly, Ms. Hessling's memory is a little bit hazy because this did take place in December of 2024. But she remembers seeing Mr. Grady in the bar. She remembers seeing Ms. Pratt and Mr. Gibbard in the bar. And then when her memory was refreshed from her statements to Officer Hessling, she did remember ultimately asking Mr. Grady to leave the bar. Joan Peters testified next, and she testified to the fact that she also saw all three of those individuals in the bar that evening. And she saw Mr. Grady return to the bar. And at that point, she saw something going on between him and Ryan Gibbard. She testified that she didn't hear any of the words, but she knew that something was going on between them, so much so that she walked up to Ryan and grabbed him and said, "Let's go sit back down at the table." And that's what he did. You heard from Jessica Pratt, who testified that she was once married to the defendant. They divorced. She sought a personal protection order in this court that was granted, and that she testified in that hearing, and that Ryan Gibbard testified in that hearing. She testified that when they arrived at the bar, they didn't see Mr. Grady at first, but then as he's moving through the bar, he shoulder checks Ryan Gibbard. And there were some words that Mr. Grady said, but she didn't hear what he said. And then they saw him leave. And she only learned that he returned later on after Ryan came back to the table, because she testified that she was sitting at a table where there was a wall and she didn't have a clear line of sight to where this altercation between Mr. Gibbard and Mr. Grady was taking place. And then you heard from Ryan Gibbard, and he testified that he did indeed testify in a personal protection order hearing in this very court, that he took the same oath that he took as a witness today to tell the truth. And he testified that he did tell the truth in that personal protection order hearing. Then, a few months later, when he and Ms. Pratt were at Bottoms Up, they had this interaction with the defendant. And he again says that they didn't see him when they first walked in, but later, shortly after they got there, he aggressively shoulder checked him. And I asked him to describe what that meant. He said he intentionally put his shoulder into Ryan's shoulder as he was walking past him. And it wasn't an accident, because there was plenty of room that he could have walked around him, but he intentionally made contact with Ryan at that particular time. And Ryan testified to the same thing. He said, Mr. Grady said something, but he couldn't make out the words. And he testified that they went back to the table. They just hoped that he would leave, and then he did leave. And then about an hour, hour and a half later, he comes back. And that's where the second altercation actually happens, where Mr. Grady has returned to Bottoms Up, makes contact with Ryan, and tells him that he's a dead mother effer for testifying against him, for taking the stand against him, I believe were Mr. Gibbard's words. So again, Miss Peters, she didn't hear what was going on, but she knew something was going on, so much so that she walked up and got Ryan and said, let's just go back. Let's just get away from this. So something, and Mr. Gibbard testified that Mr. Grady was animated. He was mad. He was putting his fingers in his face, and he was putting his arms out. So he was definitely agitated. In other words, he wasn't joking. He wasn't just saying something to make fun of Mr. Gibbard. In fact, he kept challenging him and said, come on, big boy, come out to the parking lot and let's finish this. That's not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. That's somebody who's serious. That's somebody who wants to follow through with what they've said. Now, you also heard from Officer Hessling, who the next day received the report and began his investigation by speaking to both Jessica Pratt and to Ryan Gibbard. And after he learns the context of the story, he continues his investigation and he seeks out the other witnesses, and he interviews Tracy Hessling and he interviews Joan Peters. And then he goes to get the other side of the story and he interviews Mr. Grady at his home. And that's the video that you watch. That's Mr. Grady, in his own words, telling Officer Hessling exactly what he says happened that night. Now, he says he did not return to Bottoms Up, but everybody else that testified said that he did. And it doesn't make sense with Mr. Grady's version of the story that he told Officer Hessling that all of this altercation took place only at the first time he was there. In other words, the shoulder check and the part where he tells him he's a dead MFer, That all happened at the same time, according to Mr. Grady, but not according to anybody else. So that doesn't line up. Now, Mr. Grady's version of events is a little bit different. He says, I told him there was going to be a reckoning for him testifying against me. That's what he told Officer Hessling in the video that you watched. So what does that mean, a reckoning? Well, that usually means that somebody's going to be called to pay for what they have done. And maybe that's how he thought to characterize his threat when he said, you're a dead MFer. Maybe he thinks to himself, well, I'm telling him there's going to be a reckoning for what you did. This is your job, ladies and gentlemen. You are the finders of fact, and we've said that from the beginning because you're the only ones who can decide what was meant by those words. But I remind you, back from the beginning when I first talked to you, there are two elements to this particular offense that the court will instruct you on. First, I have to have proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Gibbard was a witness at an official proceeding. And an official proceeding is one that is heard by a legislative, judicial, administrative, or other governmental agency or official that is authorized to hear evidence under oath. Well, a personal protection order hearing before the circuit court is a judicial proceeding. Testimony that is taken by the circuit court in that proceeding is done under oath. Witnesses are sworn in just as you've seen all of the witnesses sworn in today. They are given the same oath in a personal protection order hearing. Ms. Pratt testified that Mr. Gibbard was there. Mr. Gibbard testified that Mr. Gibbard was there. And Mr. Grady acknowledged on the video that Mr. Gibbard was indeed a witness in the personal protection order hearing. So that's element one, that I have to have proven beyond a reasonable doubt, and I believe I have. Element two is that the defendant retaliated, attempted to retaliate, or threatened to retaliate against Ryan Gibbard for having been a witness. Retaliate means to commit or attempt to commit a crime against a witness, to threaten to kill or injure any person, or to threaten to cause property damage. Well, he didn't commit or attempt to commit a crime against the witness. He did not threaten to cause property damage, but what he did do was threaten to kill or injure Ryan Gibbard. Now, the court will instruct you further that a threat does not have to be stated in any particular terms, but it must express a warning of danger or harm. Further, it must have been meant as a true threat and not, for example, idle talk, a statement made in jest, or a solely political comment. Mr. Grady telling somebody that they're a dead MFer is certainly not idle talk or political comment, and it certainly doesn't sound like a joke. And in fact, Ryan Gibbard testified that he believed him. When he said that, I asked him, well, what did that mean to you? And he said, it meant he was going to beat me up. He was going to hurt me. He believed it. Further, that threat must have been made under circumstances where a reasonable person would think that others may take the threat seriously as expressing an intent to inflict harm or damage. It does not matter whether the defendant actually intended to carry out the threat or could carry out the threat. So that's an important piece of that sentence. It doesn't matter whether he actually intended to kill Ryan Gibbard or intended to or could even kill Ryan Gibbard. Does not matter according to the instructions that the court will give you. What you have to determine, though, because the important part of that is that it says it must have been made under circumstances where a reasonable person would think that others may take the threat seriously. You, ladies and gentlemen, you 12 of the jury are the reasonable person that this jury instruction is referring to, because you are the finders of fact. You have to determine if the threat would have been made under circumstances where a reasonable person would think that others would take it seriously. So that's your decision today, because I believe I have proven element one beyond a reasonable doubt. And with the information that you have from the testimony of the witnesses that you've heard,
we're starting
not to mention Mr. Grady's own statements to Officer Hessling, that we've met our burden in the second element of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that he did retaliate or threaten to retaliate against Ryan Gibbard for his testimony. It's his own words, ladies and gentlemen. It's not anyone making anything up. It's Mr. Grady's own words when he talked to Officer Hessling that sealed the deal for the second element in this charge. And because of that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you to return a verdict of guilty today as to the charge of witness retaliation.
We have a poll. What should the next trial involving the Bottoms Up Bar be called?
Your closing argument?
Bottoms Up, a deep dive. Trouble comes to Bottoms Up. Behind the scenes in Bottoms Up, or check yourself a Bottoms Up trial. Vote now. Vote now, or if you have a better suggestion, put it in chat.
I would like to thank all of you for being attentive, for your attentiveness today, and throughout this whole proceeding. Throughout this trial, you have heard testimony from Mr. Data Officer Hessling, Tracy Hessling, Joan Peters, Jessica Pratt, Gibbard, and Mr. Ryan Gibbard. Officer Hessling outlined his investigation of his research and whatnot. When Ms. Tracy Hessling testified, she testified that she saw what she believed to be a verbal altercation, which she quickly went to de-escalate between Mr. Grady and Mr. Gibbard. She didn't hear anything. She didn't hear any threats or anything maybe at that time. But she did indicate the bar was pretty busy that night. Karaoke night, a Friday night. It's usually pretty busy there. In regards to Ms. Peters, she also testified that she didn't hear anything between Mr. Grady and Mr. Gibbard. She didn't hear any threats between anybody. She didn't really know what was going on, which she also testified to. She didn't really recall seeing much of an interaction between Mr. Grady and Mr. Gibbard. She knew of the PPO that was put in place, so clearly there's animosity between the parties here. When Ms. Pratt Gibbard testified as to the PPO hearing in regards to the first element of this charge, which pretty much that part is not contested. There was a hearing that took place where Mr. Gibbard was a witness and testified under oath. In regards to Mr. Gibbard's testimony, he did indicate as to what Mr. Grady said to him about being a dead mother effer. He didn't say anything in regards to how any harm may come about or anything of that nature, just that he was a dead mother effer. And I feel as though in regards to that type of language, anybody could say that to somebody, but like it lacks substance. It's in my opinion, an empty threat.
I've got a good idea for the shirt.
Saying that to somebody. In regards to being a reasonable person as to the element where the reasonable person would think that others may take the threat serious as expressing an intent to affect harm or damage. Well, a reasonable person, if you believe that that to be true, the reasonable thing would be to contact law enforcement right away, what I would think. If you really think somebody's going to kill you, you call the police right away. You don't talk about it, wait the next day if you truly thought that that was an issue or a possibility, in my opinion. And in regards to reporting it, Mr. Grady wasn't even interviewed until I believe it was January 16th of 2025. It was several weeks after the incident occurred. So I would ask for you to consider that as well. In regards to the prosecutor meeting his burden, I do not believe that he has done so. In regards to the second element, the words or whatnot that Mr. Grady used where he said something as to a reckoning. In regards to what the definition of a reckoning is, I think to the Bible context, whereas Judgment Day has that. And Mr. Grady doesn't have that capability to do that. It's not even actually a threat. It's basically when there's a reckoning, I believe that it's a person is held accountable for their actions. That's what a reckoning is. And it's not, it doesn't mean that somebody's going to get hurt or anything of that nature. When it comes to a true threat, So that information is in the instructions you look at shortly, and you all have to decide if what Mr. Grady said would fall under the category of a true threat. With what the prosecutor has presented, it does not rise to that level. There was clearly, I think it could be looked at as there is something set out of anger, not to be taken, I feel, quite literally as Mr. Gibbard testified to, but again, you would think that somebody would call her right away if they really felt that they were going to be killed or injured. Let's see.
She doesn't believe her own
As
argument
you could
here.
tell, Mr. Grady, he chose to not testify today. Please keep in mind that it cannot be used against him. Again, the defense is not for us to prove anything, it's for the prosecutor to prove the burden. And again, I would ask for all of you to find that he did not meet his burden, did not meet the second element of the charge. And because of that, I would ask for all of you to render and not testify. Thank you.
Thank you. So rebuttal argument.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He said rebuttal. I'm sorry. Oh, we've got a PowerPoint. We get video.
An altercation with you and Ryan inside.
I told him there was going to be a reckoning for him for testifying against him on my way out the door.
Okay.
His words, ladies and gentlemen. I told him there was going to be a reckoning for him testifying against me. So the question here is brought to you by the defense counsel, what's a reckoning? She puts it into the terms of the Bible, but let's just look at the dictionary definition of a reckoning. A time when one is called to account for one's actions, a moment of truth or judgment. You have to decide, first of all, if these are the words that he used that night in the bar, or if the words that Mr. Gibbard testified to were the words that he used in the bar. But either way, a reckoning, a time when one is called to account for one's actions, a moment of truth or judgment, who was going to put Mr. Gibbard in his moment of truth? Who was going to put Mr. Gibbard to judgment? Mr. Grady was. Either way that you look at this, ladies and gentlemen, whether he said you're a dead MFer or whether he said there's going to be a reckoning for you testifying against me, it's a threat. Plain language, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Grady's own words. Now, keep in mind, he didn't just say in a quiet, peaceful voice, there's going to be a reckoning for you testifying against me, or you're a dead MFer. He was loud. So much so that it caught the attention of other patrons in the bar. So much so that Mr. Gibbard testified that he yelled out Tracy's name, and Tracy came and escorted Mr. Grady out of the bar. So this is not just a peaceful exchange of words between Mr. Grady and Mr. Gibbard. This is something that attracts the attention of the bartender on a busy night and gets her to come from out behind the bar and have Mr. Grady leave. It also attracts the attention of another patron, Joan Peters, who knew something was going on. She didn't hear the words, but she knew something was going on, so much so that she went up to Mr. Gibbard, grabbed him by the shoulder and said, let's come sit back down. This was not just idle talk. This was not Mr. Grady just making a joke. This was Mr. Grady making a threat. And as we've pointed out in the instructions that you'll see, it doesn't matter whether he intended to follow through with it or not, or whether he could follow through with it or not. It's that he made the threat. And that's what you have to decide. Now, defense counsel has made a point about, well, it was so terrible. Why didn't they call the police right then? Well, because Mr. Grady left. Not of his own choice. He was removed by the bartender, but he left. And Ms. Pratt even said we didn't want to cause a scene, and she didn't know what to do. She knew to call the police the very next day, though, and that's what they did. Ladies and gentlemen, The first element of this charge, I believe, is not in question. And defense counsel has even mentioned that there is no question about element one. But the second element of this offense, the people have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Grady did intend to retaliate against Mr. Gibbard for testifying against him in the PPO hearing. And Mr. Grady was mad because they showed up at his bar and he had to leave. And he got so mad after going down to Pete's and coming back that he told Mr. Gibbard what he felt. Told him he was going to kill him, or told him there was going to be a reckoning, whichever you believe. But whatever he did, he made a threat, and he meant it. And that's why I'm asking you to return a verdict of guilty today. Thank you again for your attention today.
Members of the jury, the evidence and arguments are finished in this case, and now I will instruct you on the law. That is, I will explain the law that applies to this case. Remember that you've taken an oath to return a true and just verdict based only on the evidence and my instructions on the law. You must not let sympathy, bias, or prejudice influence your decision. You must also avoid reaching conclusions that may have been unintentionally influenced by stereotypes. You must reach your own conclusions about this case individually, but you should only do so after listening to and considering the opinions of the other jurors who may have different backgrounds and perspectives from yours. As jurors, you must decide what the facts of this case are. That is your job and no one else's. You must think about all the evidence and then decide what each piece of evidence means and how important you think it is. This includes whether you believe what each of the witnesses said. What you decide about any fact in this case is final. It is my duty to instruct you on the law. You must take the law as I give it to you. If a lawyer says something different about the law, please follow what I say. At various times, I've already given you some instructions on the law. You must take all my instructions together as the law that you are to follow, and you should not pay attention to some instructions and ignore others. So to sum it up, it is your job to decide what the facts of the case are, to apply the law as given to you, and in that way to decide the case. A person accused of a crime is presumed to be innocent. This means you must start with the presumption that the defendant is innocent. This presumption continues throughout the trial and entitles the defendant to a verdict of not guilty, unless you are satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt that he is guilty. Every crime is made up of parts called elements. The prosecutor must prove each element of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant is not required to prove his innocence or to do anything. If you find that the prosecutor has not proven every element beyond a reasonable doubt, then you must find the defendant not guilty. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt is proof that leaves you firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt. A reasonable doubt is a fair, honest doubt growing out of the evidence or lack of evidence. It's not merely an imaginary or possible doubt, but a doubt based on reason and common sense. A reasonable doubt is just that, a doubt that is reasonable after a careful and considered examination of the facts and circumstances of this case. Every defendant has the absolute right not to testify. When you decide the case, you must not consider the fact that he did not testify. It must not affect your verdict in any way. When you discuss the case and decide on your verdict, you may only consider the evidence that has been properly admitted in this case. Therefore, it is important for you to understand what is evidence and what is not evidence. Evidence includes only the sworn testimony of witnesses, the exhibits admitted into evidence, and anything else I told you to consider as evidence. Now, many things are not evidence. You must be careful not to consider them as such. I will now describe some of the things that are not evidence. The fact that the defendant is charged with a crime and is on trial is not evidence. The lawyer's statements and arguments and any commentary are also not evidence. They are only meant to help you understand the evidence and each side's legal theories. You should only accept things lawyers say that are supported by the evidence or by your own common sense and general knowledge. The lawyer's questions to the witnesses and my questions to the witnesses are also not evidence. You should consider these questions only as they give meaning to the witnesses' answers. My comments, rulings, questions, and instructions are also not evidence. It is my duty to see that the trial is conducted according to the law and to tell you the law that applies to this case. However, when I make a comment or give an instruction, I am not trying to influence your vote or express a personal opinion about the case. If you believe that I have an opinion about how you should decide the case, you must pay no attention to that opinion. You are the only judges of the facts, and you should decide this case from the evidence. You are to make your decision only on the evidence that has been let in and nothing else. Your decision should be based on all the evidence, regardless of which party produced it. And you should use your own common sense and general knowledge in weighing and judging the evidence, but you should not use any personal knowledge you may have about a person, place, or event. So to repeat once more, you must decide this case based only on the evidence admitted during this trial. Facts can be proved by direct evidence from a witness or an exhibit. Direct evidence is evidence about what we actually see or hear. Let me repeat that. Direct evidence is evidence about what we actually see or hear. So, for example, if you were to look outside and see rain falling, that's direct evidence that it is raining. Facts can also be proved by indirect or circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence is evidence that normally or reasonably leads to other facts. So, for example, if you see a person coming in from outside wearing a raincoat covered with small drops of water, that would be circumstantial evidence that it is raining. You may consider circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence by itself, or a combination of circumstantial evidence and direct evidence, can be used to prove the elements of a crime. So in other words, you should consider all the evidence that you believe. The prosecution has introduced evidence of statements that it claims the defendant made. Before you may consider such an out-of-court statement against the defendant, you must first find that the defendant actually made the statement as given to you. If you find that the defendant did make the statement, you may give the statement whatever weight you think they deserve. In deciding this, you should think about how and when the statements were made and about all the other evidence in the case. You may consider the statement in deciding the facts of this case. You may consider whether the defendant had a reason to commit the alleged crime, but a reason by itself is not enough to find a person guilty of a crime. The prosecutor does not have to prove that the defendant had a reason to commit the alleged crime. He only has to show that the defendant actually committed the crime. The defendant's intent may be proved by what he said, what he did, how he did it, or by any other facts and circumstances in evidence. As I said before, it is your job to decide what the facts in this case are. You must decide which witnesses you believe and how important you think their testimony is. You do not have to accept or reject everything a witness says. You are free to believe all, none, or part of any person's testimony. In deciding which testimony you believe, you should rely on your own common sense and everyday experience. However, in deciding whether you believe a person's testimony, you must set aside any bias or prejudice you may have based on a witness's disability, race, national origin or ethnicity, gender identity or sexual orientation, or religion, age, or socioeconomic status. Again, take the time that you need to test what might be automatic or instinctive judgments and to reflect carefully about the evidence. There is no fixed set of rules for judging whether you believe a witness, but it may help you to think about some of these questions. Was the witness able to see or hear clearly? How long was the witness watching or listening? Was anything else going on that might have distracted the witness? Does the witness seem to have a good memory? How did the witness look and act while testifying? Did the witness seem to be making an honest effort to tell the truth, or did the witness seem to evade the questions or argue with the lawyers? Does the witness's age or maturity affect how you judge his or her testimony? Does the witness have any bias, prejudice, or personal interest in how the case is decided? Have there been any promises, threats, suggestions, or other influences that affected how the witness testified? In general, does the witness have any special reason to tell the truth or any special reason to lie? All in all, how reasonable does the witness's testimony seem when you think about all the other evidence in the case? Sometimes the testimony of different witnesses will not agree, and you must decide which testimony you accept. You should think about whether the disagreement involves something important or not, and whether you think that someone is lying or simply mistaken. People see and hear things differently, and witnesses may testify honestly, but simply be wrong about what they thought they saw or remembered. It is also a good idea to think about which testimony agrees best with the other evidence in the case. However, You may conclude that a witness deliberately lied about something that is important to how you decide the case. If so, you may choose not to accept anything that witness said. On the other hand, if you think the witness lied about some things but told the truth about others, you may simply accept the part that you think is true and ignore the rest. You should not decide this case based on which side presented more witness. Instead, you should think about each witness and each piece of evidence and whether you believe them. Then you must decide whether the testimony and evidence you believe that is, proves beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty. You have heard testimony from a witness who was a police officer. That testimony is to be judged by the same standards you use to evaluate the testimony of any other witness. The defendant is charged with the crime of witness retaliation. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that Ryan Gibbard was a witness at an official proceeding. An official proceeding is a proceeding heard by a legislative, judicial, administrative, or other governmental agency, or official that is authorized to hear evidence under oath. Second, that the defendant retaliated, attempted to retaliate, or threatened to retaliate against Ryan Gibbard for having been a witness. Retaliate means to commit or attempt to commit a crime against the witness, to threaten to kill or injure any person, or to threaten to cause property damage. A threat does not have to be stated in any particular terms, but must express a warning of danger or harm. Further, it must have been meant as a true threat and not, for example, idle talk, a statement made in jest, or a solely political comment. It must have been made under circumstances where a reasonable person would think that others may take the threat seriously as expressing an intent to inflict harm or damage. It does not matter whether the defendant actually intended to carry out the threat or could carry out the threat. The prosecutor in this case must also prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the crime occurred on or about December 27, 2024, in the city of Bad Axe, Huron County, Michigan. When you go to the jury room, you will be provided with a written copy of the final instructions. You should first choose a foreperson. A foreperson should see to it that your discussions are carried on in a businesslike way and that everyone has a fair chance to be heard. During your deliberations, continue to keep your cell phones or other communication equipment off until we recess. A verdict in a criminal case must be unanimous. In order to return a verdict, it is necessary that each of you agrees on that verdict. In the jury room, you will discuss the case among yourselves, but ultimately each of you will have to make up your own mind. Any verdict must represent the individual considered judgment of each juror. It is your duty, that is, as jurors, to talk to each other, make every reasonable effort to reach agreement, express your opinions and the reasons for them. But keep an open mind as you listen to your fellow jurors. Rethink your opinions. And do not hesitate to change your mind if you decide you were wrong. Try your best to work out your differences. However, although you should try to reach agreement, that is, none of you should give up your honest opinion about the case just because other jurors disagree with you or just for the sake of reaching a verdict. In the end, your vote must be your own, and you must vote honestly and in good conscience. At any time you have any questions about these instructions before you begin deliberations, or questions about the instructions that arise during deliberations, you may simply submit them in writing to the bailiff, and I'll explain that in just a moment. Possible penalties should not influence your decision. If you find the defendant guilty, it is the duty of the judge to fix the penalty within the limits provided by law. If you wish to communicate with the court while you are in the jury room, please have your foreperson write a note and give it to the bailiff. It is not proper at this point for you to talk directly with the judge, lawyers, court officers, or other people involved in the case. As you discuss the case, you must not let anyone, even me, know how your voting stands. Therefore, until you return with a unanimous verdict, do not reveal this to anyone outside the jury room. When you go to the jury room, you may take your full notes and instructions with you. If you wish to look at any of the exhibits that have been admitted, just simply ask for them. When you go to the jury room, again, you'll be given a written copy of these instructions you've just heard. As you discuss the case, you should think about all my instructions together as the law that you are to follow. You may return a verdict of guilty of the alleged crime or not guilty. a proposed verdict form, actually, has been prepared, and I'll read it to the record. It says, People of the State of Michigan versus Ronald Francis Grady, and it says verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant Ronald Francis Grady as follows, and it says check only one box as to each count. Count 1, not guilty, or guilty of the offense of witness retaliation. There's a date spot, which has already been marked for you, and then a 4-person signature. When you have deliberated and have agreed upon your verdict, and the 4-person has placed that verdict on this verdict form, and you've reached consensus, simply knock on the door, let the bailiff know that you've reached a verdict. Don't tell the bailiff what the verdict is. Don't give the verdict form to the bailiff. Just simply, again, let the bailiff know you've reached a verdict. Once you have reached a verdict, at that time, the court will bring everyone back into the courtroom. When everyone is brought back into the courtroom, you will also be brought back into the courtroom. And the juror 4th person should have this verdict form in her or his hand. When you are brought back in, the court will advise everyone, it's the understanding that the jury has reached a verdict. I will turn it over to Ms. Hatch, the court administrator. Ms. Hatch will ask members of the jury, have you reached a verdict in this matter, and who will speak for you? At that time, the 4th person will simply stand and read from the verdict form, beginning with, we, the jury, find the defendant Ronald Francis Grady as follows, and then recite what your verdict is.
Forgot to mention the verdict music.
First time that we should know that we would know your verdict outside of the jury room. Counsel, approach, please.
The jury says we'll need probably 2 or 3 minutes, Judge. If you can just give us just a minute to finish filling out we're ready to vote right now. We voted. 77% of you said guilty. Said guilty. He's only charged with
you have the bailiff's form?
Witness retaliation.
Do you solemnly swear that you will, to the best of your ability, keep the persons sworn as jurors on this trial from separating from each other, that you will not permit or any communication to be made to them or any of them orally or otherwise, that you will not communicate with them or any of them orally or otherwise, except by the order of this court, or to ask them if they have agreed on their verdict until they shall be discharged, and that you will not, before they render their verdicts, communicate to any person the state of their deliberations or the verdict they have agreed upon, so help you God.
Thank you. Members of the jury, it is now time to begin your deliberations. Ms. Hatch will escort you into the jury room. Again, if you need the exhibits, just simply ask for them. We will provide them. All right, please.
All right, jury is walking out. We're starting the timer. Got 32 mentions of bottoms up on this one, roughly. I might have missed 1 or 2.
Members of the jury have returned to the jury room to begin deliberations. They're outside the hearing of the court. Prior to the jury being excused, the court inquired of counsel whether there's any objection as to the manner and form in which the instructions were provided.
None from the people, Your Honor.
No objections.
The jury is beginning their deliberations. Ms. Viv, if you do leave the building, if you could just leave a phone number so we can reach you. Otherwise, we'll await the verdict of the jury. We'll take a recess. We'll go off the record. Thank you.
Recess off the record and kill the live stream, as they do. 1 minute into jury deliberations. I think they're going to be knocking on the door any second now. Let's see. Let's turn that off. And let's shrink this one down. We need the timer on screen as we start watching. And we're going to have to watch very carefully for this. So let's see. I want it. How do we want it? Like this. Let's see. Trying to get the timer on screen. Looks like this now. I'll have to trim it down so it doesn't give you guys PTSD. Let's see. Super source box source 2 is going to be 4. So now I'll take that. Give me a second to get the the counter going. Yeah, don't go too far. Don't stray too far from your computer or the courthouse if you're up there in person, because there we go. There's our counter. Now we'll just trim it down a wee bit. Take a bit off the top and bottoms up. Take some off the bottom as well. Bring that bottom up a little bit. Looks like so. Little off the left, and then we'll move it down. And right. There we go. How's that? There's our, well. There's our timer. Why'd it go away? Oh, I made it go away. That was my fault. All right, 3:04 it is, and we'll be checking constantly to see when they come back with the verdict, so we can catch that for you, because we hate to leave you in suspense. But we'd also really like to play the verdict music today. I, for one, I'm super excited about that. So we'll keep an eye on this for y'all. Let me get over here. Meanwhile, we're going to jump down to, there's another court we're going to, let's see, where are we at? We're going to go to 44th District Court.
Correct. Thank you. The court appreciates and accepts your plea. And Ms. Cashman, what do you want the court to know?
Well, I've never had an accident before of anything like this nature. And I did not see the car. I honestly did not see it till I hit it. I have a new car. My old car I had for 16 years. This one has everything on it. And anyways, I was having trouble with blind spots, particularly the back right stanchion. Okay. And then it was very sunny that day. And also there's a trim on the dashboard that reflects in the side view mirror. And I checked it out to see what caused it to do it, because I mentioned it to the sales agent twice.
Why is the officer wearing his hat?
Okay.
And he said he didn't know anything about it. But if the car is facing west, it appears on the passenger mirror, the reflection of this strip. It's a metallic silver type looking strip. If the car is facing east, and this is at that time of day, I know like at 4 o'clock, it'll be in a different position or not as effective.
The judge is genuinely interested.
Facing east, it's on the driver's side at 1 o'clock. And this window is far bigger than my old one. My son's always complained about the old one because they always had to stick her head down to see beyond the metal framework. And this one
Zimmy OG.
So bright. I had cataract. In fact, I'm having my 6-month checkup on the cataract surgery Friday.
Okay.
So
is that you,
sun is very much a problem. And this car has what they said is an adaptive transmission. Whereas I would have like a power surge as a car, you know, if I was moving, sometimes it would jump, like backing out of the car. But they said there's multiple transmissions in it, and after around 3,000 miles, it adapts to you. But I couldn't figure out why it was doing that.
Interesting. Well, it sounds like you had an awful lot going on, Ms. Cashman.
But you're still guilty.
And I think you suggested to the court does not look at driving records before it begins the docket. I think you suggested to the court that you're a safe and reasonable driver in your history, correct? Okay, and you've probably been driving since sometime in the early 70s?
57 years, I would bet.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you all for that information. And officer, what would you like to share?
Yes, if I could amend this to impeding traffic, I would appreciate that.
All right. The court's going to amend this to impeding traffic, Ms. Cashman, with an accident. That is a 0-point violation, so it won't permanently blemish your driving record as a moving violation. And that's acceptable to you?
Yes, yes.
With an accident. So the grand total is going to be $220 when it includes that accident fee that is payable through the
they're
portal
making money today
on the 44th District Court website, or you may walk a cash check or charge into the 44th District Court, 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30, and that's going to be due within 14 days. Good luck to you.
And where is it I go for that? Right here in this building?
You're here today.
I'm here today, so I
want to pay that today. That's great. If you want to come back to this same place in the next 13 days, that's good too. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You be well.
Okay. Thank you, Officer Noss, too.
No problem.
Yeah.
Magistrate.
Sir.
Before we call the next couple people, I think these were originally set for the 29th of September. I only received one other subpoena, one of the 3 subpoenas. So I don't have any information for Lang, I believe.
Yeah, Lang was a Nadrowski case.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very
good. And it's a cracked windshield. Back on August 13th, we adjourned this for some documentation and
Gotcha. Okay. I just didn't know if he was mine.
He's got this waiver ticket up in the air. He's also got another one with respect to some other equipment defect that he's supposed to see you folks about. So in any event, we'll do the Scapone matter. And then we'll get a hold of Mr. Lang, see what he's got.
Okay. Perfect.
This is case number 25 RO05232. It is people of the City of Royal Oak versus Loreno James Scapone. That's you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Scapone, you were present earlier today.
The second.
When the court explained the nature of an informal hearing. True?
Yes.
And so you also understood the court to instruct that you must select from one of 3 options to protect your rights, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Scapone, the citation before the court does indicate that on August 14th of this year, at approximately 10 minutes of 2 in the afternoon, you were operating a 2024 Chevrolet Silverado black in color on Woodward Avenue, M1 at or near Chester in the city of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, you violated a barricade. It indicates defendant drove around barricade truck into the grass median of Woodward just south of Chester. So this being 8/14, that looks like it might have been issued during the Woodward Dream Cruise, Officer Nouse?
Just before.
Okay, very well. So, Mr. Scapone, you do have your 3 options today. You may admit responsibility, you can admit and explain, or deny responsibility. We will swear the parties and take testimony. What do you wish the court to do?
Door number 2, please. Admit.
All right, so you will therefore wish to acknowledge that on the date in question, you were operating a motor vehicle in the city of Royal Oak and you violated a barricade, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. The court appreciates and accepts your plea. The court is grateful for your candor. What is going on, Mr. Scapone?
Well, if I may, the explanation, I mean, historically, real briefly, it's been 30 years valet parking in the city of downtown Royal Oak, 25 years at Dugan's, specifically during Dream Cruise. I'd like to say I've seen it all out there. I've seen virtually everything. My explanation starts with this. As I pull away from Dugan's, I hit the turnaround. I'm on the inside lane. White pickup truck pulls up, stops, blocking half of the turnaround. Blocks the car next to me. I look behind. I see the patrol car with the lights on behind it. I assume this truck is getting pulled over. There's no identifiable marks, not like a city vehicle. I see them all the time. We still operate in downtown Royal Oak, so I see the city trucks, up and down throughout the streets, and even during Dream Cruise, I've seen them with. I just didn't think it had anything to do with the city. I thought he was being pulled over.
Is the officer's body
So I
cam on?
continued on my path and made that turn into the inside lane. And as I noted, the officer pulled up. I did say, I probably shouldn't have done that, not really realizing what I had done because I continued on my path.
Okay.
But I assume, again, to recap, I assume the truck was being pulled over because there's no identifiable marks. on the vehicle.
Is there anything else you want the court to know?
Yeah. Officer?
No, I think I've covered it. I appreciate the.
Okay. And the vehicle you were driving was not a vehicle of a client or guest. It was your vehicle.
Correct.
All right. Anything on behalf of the people?
Yes. I would like to dismiss this citation, please.
All right. That would appear to draw no objection from you, Mr. Scafoni, correct?
Correct.
All right. Court does have one important question.
Yes, sir.
Are you any relation to Rio Scafoni?
Oh, yes. First cousins.
Okay.
Yes.
I had a funny feeling you'd say something like that. Okay.
And back in the day before he had passed, Ron, her father, Ron Scafoni, used to spend quite a bit of time in downtown, and frankly is who introduced me to Larry Payne Sr. and around the city.
When you said valet, it started connecting immediately. And yeah, her dad was quite the giant.
Does the mafia run the valet?
He was.
Okay.
I missed him. Yeah.
All right. God bless you. Take care, and always beware. Be careful. Take care.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Scafoni the second. Is he like, it makes me wonder if there's like a mafia, a crime family that runs the valet business. It's like, do you know this guy? Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, Steven.
Mr. Lang.
Hello.
This is case number 25RO04517. It is People of the City of Royal Oak versus Stephen Ray Lang. Mr. Lang, you had been with the court last August the 13th on a matter regarding your cracked windshield. And what the court had done at that time was this matter was adjourned in order for you to provide documentation that you had fixed the windshield.
Yep. I have that.
The matter was back before the court on September 24th. For whatever reason, you appear to have not made that date. But here you are today. So this was an equipment violation. What is the status of the windshield?
I have the receipt. I got it fixed and corrected.
That is fantastic.
Yay.
Can you hold that up to your device? Oh my, you have your filter on.
Hang on.
All right.
We're going to see the background here in just a minute.
Let's see.
Nope.
I don't know how to turn off the filter.
Blur my
I think if you
background
go to views
under video.
or one of those selections under
View.
settings.
Gallery, multi-speaker, high self-view.
So if you hit more, down at the bottom it says more.
Zoom 101. Here we go.
Okay.
And then settings.
This is going to cost you though.
And then like the fourth one says background.
Background. Okay. There we go.
Oh,
Thank you.
See, what do we have
Should be
here?
doing
All right.
Zoom,
Got a puppy.
Zoom tutorials. Okay. Let's take a look at that. Pull it back a little bit. Okay.
Let's go to Holbrook Tire and Glass.
And
The date right here is August 25th.
okay. And this was for the 2013
$254.40.
Yep, which is stated right here.
Okay. Appreciate that. Any motions?
Nope.
Move to dismiss.
Officer Nelson?
No.
Okay. At this time, Mr. Lang, the court is most concerned with what the status of the windshield was on the date in question. Okay. So what we need to do is properly enter a plea of responsible or not responsible regarding the windshield condition, the date the ticket was written. So do you wish to plead responsible or not responsible?
Yes.
Responsible?
Yeah, I was responsible for the windshield crack and driving with it.
All right. Ian, anything
He's
before
not
the
getting
court
any
imposes
breaks.
a sanction? Officer.
No.
All right.
Officer's
What the
throwing
court's
book
going to
at
do,
him.
Mr. Lang, is the very, very rock bottom state minimum fee is $45.
Okay.
The court is going to mark that as payable through the pay portal on the court's website, or you may walk a cash check or charge into this court at 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within 28 days.
The Italian valet
And
guy
don't
crashed
forget, you
his
have
car.
that other waiver ticket that
Got
you
the
need
ticket
to show
drops.
up at the PD.
This guy had
to
a
take
cracked
care
window
of,
and he fixed it.
from yesterday.
And he has
Correct?
to pay the fee.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Lang is not mafia. That's very clear now. All right, they're done. They're done. That was funny. That was really funny. Let's see. It's still not back from jury selection. We're looking at about 18 minutes of deliberation time right now. So let's find another fun court we can hop in on. The officer, the judge kept expecting him to drop the ticket. He's like, "Officer, do you have a motion? Officer, anything?" And officer's like, "Nope. You're getting nothing from me. Nothing at all. Zero. Zilch. Nada." And yeah, threw the book at him. $45. Let's see. Expedited accusations calendar out of Fulton County. We might go there. Let's check and see what else there is. It's quiet. Judge Washington looks busy.
I would like to know what is my
This is
court
Judge
cost
Simpson.
is.
175, but that's in the 1199 I told you.
Judge Simpson's doing this one.
Okay. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjourn this matter to November 5th, 2025 at 1:45. At 1:45. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Is he
Have a good
covering for Judge
afternoon.
Washington?
Thank you.
Thank you. Court calls the case of McKinley Properties. Sooner versus Chantel Reese.
It's landlord tenant.
Chantel Reese.
Chantel Reese is here.
Where? Oh, she didn't come in.
I'm here. Can
But
you
I
see-
believe you. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Okay. What's Mr. Fink? Where are we on this?
She's made a substantial payment, and I think she has applications pending.
I do.
Okay. So she made a substantial payment. So what do we want to do? Adjourn this out another week? See if we can.
If we could confirm that she's got apps pending, yes.
Your Honor, if I have Miss Reese's permission to share
Ms.
something.
Reese, do we have your permission? She just wants to, so that we can be assured that there are applications pending.
Okay. Who is she?
Is it okay? Who is she?
Yes. Yeah.
That's Amy. You don't know Amy?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Miss Reese.
I'm like, well, who is that?
Your Honor, just to confirm and satisfy Miss Reese, from the Hawk Agency, OCD, that's managing some of the applications in the county over here in the community. So Mr. Fink, she does have an application started with the SOS prevention team. They met on September 30th.
I like it.
Yes.
Okay. So you want 1 or 2 weeks out?
I retweeted it for you.
Ms. Reese, can you pay it in a week?
Let's say 2 weeks to be safe. And if it's,
If it's
can I
2
say
weeks,
this?
we're gonna have November in there.
If we come back in 2 weeks.
Okay, let's say 1 week.
Okay.
1 week,
Okay.
just to be paid, because I think it's only going to be a balance of $300 after.
Okay, gotcha.
Because I made a big payment.
Yeah, that's what Mr. Fink said.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So I'm going to go to October 29th, 2025 at 2 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right? Thank you, Ms. Reese.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Ms.
Have a good
Reese.
day. Uh-huh. Have a good day.
Court calls the case of
Judge
Schooner
Simpson's
Co.
the
versus
substitute
Tracy
today.
Ward.
Dave Sink for the plaintiff.
Tracy Ward.
Judgment for the plaintiff.
Hi.
Oh,
Hello.
here she is. That was
Good
close.
morning.
Hello.
Okay. So where are we on this?
You asking me? You asking me?
No, I was asking Mr. Fink, and then
Thank you. I don't want to because I really don't.
you don't know, right?
Right. I'm just all over the place. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Me too. Don't worry about it.
Payout 3266.76.
I'm sorry. What was that amount again?
3266.76.
3266.76. Okay. And how were you intending on getting that paid?
Actually, I just had surgery and, I'm on a bridge of getting paid. They have a bridge to, 2 weeks after surgery to, pay us anything. I just got, surgery on the 8th. I've been paying since this happened, like 700, 600. I've been trying to pay every time I get paid. It's just not equaling up and trying to catch up. So yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And so
I'm
you guys weren't able to work out how this is going to get paid.
exactly. I'm just trying to. I've been with them for 4 years now, so yeah. I'm just trying to keep up with the payments.
We're
It's
gonna
been
jump
pretty
from this one.
hard, but
This is a sad one.
trying to stay afloat.
60 days to
We
pay
wish
that,
you
and
luck.
if you need more time, you can call our court clerk and set up a payment plan, but otherwise you're all set for today. Thank you.
Right. Yeah.
Courtney Calvin,
I just like this one because it has a recording logo.
Courtney Calvin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
This is case number 252958OT. This is for a charge of driving with suspended license. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of $500. Do you wish to plead guilty or not guilty to that?
Not guilty.
If this goes to a trial, would you want that to be in front of a jury or a judge?
A jury.
On a jury.
That's
Go
because
ahead and set.
the reason, because I have my license, so I didn't, but I haven't met with a prosecutor.
Yep, this is going to be scheduled for a pretrial, so you can discuss that with the prosecutor. You can either retain your own attorney or you can represent yourself. I'm going to set bond at $300 PR bond, no driving unless you have a valid license. I have an address of 4259.
Oh, we have to bail. We have to bail. We can't do that. No addresses. Hello, Judge. JPT Sanders, how are you doing? This is live.
Sir.
I feel very close to the judge right now.
1 second. All right, sir. So I do see we are here for logistics. I am here for 25S000132. I have plaintiff Lionel or Lionel. Sorry, how do you pronounce it?
Lionel.
Lionel
Yes.
Corona present. We have the respondent Julian Brockmuller present as well. Is that correct, sir? Mr. Brockmuller, are you present?
I am a miss.
Oh, it's a miss. I apologize. Miss Brockmuller. So you are present. I apologize for the oversight. Yes.
And it is Jillian, not Julian.
Oh, Jillian.
There is a misspelling.
Okay, thank you. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. So I apologize, Jillian Brockmuller. So, ma'am, have you, did you receive this paperwork via certified mail?
I have not received, no.
You have not received, so how were you aware to be here today?
Because I looked at the docket for my name because I was, a sheriff was trying to serve me.
Okay.
But I wasn't at home, and then he wasn't able to serve me because he had to go on a call.
I'm sorry. I thought I just heard the fire alarm go off for a second. So, Mr. Corona, I do see that you tried to serve her via certified mail. I don't see a signature on the certified mail slip, but I do see that you also tried to serve her via the sheriff's office.
Correct.
Did you receive any paperwork from the sheriff's office that she was served? Because I
No.
just see a receipt that you paid her.
Yeah, they said they weren't able to find her.
She gone.
Okay. And yet you're saying, but then Miss Brock Mueller is saying that there was a sheriff there, but then he had to leave because he was on call. So that's a little bit of a discrepancy in statements.
Well, when I went to the sheriff's department, they just said that they tried multiple times to try and find Jillian, but they weren't able to fully serve her.
Okay, sir. So that's where the issue is. I do see that you have 2 times here. You have tried via certified mail, but the issue is I don't see a signature on acceptance on either of these documents. On the green slip, it doesn't say there's a receipt.
Well, it seems like Jillian has been trying to avoid this court case for a while, so.
And I mean, she is present here, so that it
I'm
would
really
make me
glad
think that
she is. Yes, for sure.
Mr. Clerk, could you confirm on, I think it's proof of service, the first one? Is that stamp on the second one sufficient for certified mail? Because it says August 14th, 2025.
I tried to turn down the battery a little bit.
Or is the signature needed on the yellow card?
It better not be the judge who's beeping.
But do you see the stamp on the second one?
I have access to these.
Oh no, okay. All right, I do see on the first one that there was a 10/8 delivery. On a second one, I do see that there's an August 14th also delivery. And I do find that the statement that there was a sheriff or a deputy sheriff at your place, but then he had to leave for a call, interesting. So it's your statement that you never received the small claims form, Ms. Brockmuller?
No.
Oh, it's him.
Okay.
It's him.
Can you please confirm then, since you are present and here is your address. I'm not going to state the full address because obviously I want to protect your privacy. Do you live on Woodside Drive in Longview?
Yes.
Okay. So you have been mailed 2 times to the correct address, and you've also been tried to be served at the correct address. So, Mr. Corona,
yes.
At this time, she says that she doesn't have the documentation, and unfortunately, I can't go forward if she doesn't have that, and I know, but I can't prove that she doesn't. So we have confirmation of her address right now on the docket. I'm taking note of that on judicial record as well. So at this time, if you want to ask the sheriff's office once again to serve her, we have confirmation of her address, as well as when this proceeds to trial, if that's the way it goes, you can recoup the costs for serving her. You can ask to be reimbursed for the service fees.
Perfect.
So and that can be inclusive of previous attempts as well, now that we have confirmation of her address.
Okay.
So I need to set this over for you to serve her the correct paperwork.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in this situation, sir, you would need to come to the clerk's office, amend the paperwork just so they could amend the new pretrial date.
Okay.
and have her served with that. We do have confirmation that the address you were trying to serve her at is correct.
It's correct. Perfect.
Um,
Because I also tried serving her like 2 to 3 weeks ago via mail, and I'm guessing she got the mail. I've already tried multiple times, but she's trying to avoid this hearing. So
I can neither confirm nor deny that. I'm just a third party in this situation. So we do have confirmation of the Woodside Drive address, and I have seen you used it at 98632. So please go ahead and try to reserve there. You do need to amend the documentation.
okay.
So please go ahead and amend it. Ms. Brockmuller, you now put on notice that you will be served with the documentation. You are here today, so I do find it interesting that you're stating you don't have the paperwork in front of you, but just to err on the side of
Ask
caution,
her.
Mr. Corona is going to reserve you again at the confirmed address that you live at. Mr. Corona, will you be attempting certified or will you be attempting deputy sheriff's office?
Certified.
Certified. So once again, Ms. Brockmuller, you'll be attempted via certified. We have confirmation of your address. There's no reason why there shouldn't be a signature on the card after the fact. So Mr. Corona, please go ahead and amend the documentation and then please send it in. And once we have that all done, you do need to submit service proof again, and we'll go
Okay.
ahead and set you up with a new pretrial date. But at least now we know the address. Okay, sir?
Perfect.
All right, thank
he
you.
knew the
So 30
address
days, please
before.
amend, and we look forward to seeing you both here again. Ms. Brockmuller, you're put on notice that you're going to be served with the small claims forms.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you to all parties.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She shows up on her day in court.
Mr. Clerk, is there someone attempting to stop that beeping? Or is it in our room? Oh, okay. Yeah, great. Okay, good timing.
It was him. It was him.
All right, sir, let's just call in Larry Crosby and then Anna Tina Quick and Katie Fraley would be.
Mr. Clerk, go grab a 9-volt battery. Stat. We are we're 34 minutes into the deliberation.
All right, please to all parties unmute. I know that we have two individuals representing a business here. Mr. Crosby, if you could please unmute as well. Mr. Crosby, Larry Crosby, please unmute *6 or unmute.
He's on the phone.
All right. Can you hear me, sir? Mr. Crosby, can you hear me?
Hello.
All right, I can hear you. Great. We're here in 25S000151. We have plaintiff Anna Tina Quick
Hello.
present. We have Representative Larry Crosby present as well. Sir, I hear you.
He says hello again.
Okay. All right. So in this situation, Ms. Fraley, I understand you're appearing on behalf. However, this is filed in Anna Tina Quick's personal name, not in a business name. So you are not allowed to be here at this time. This is just a pretrial hearing. If we proceed to trial, Ms. Quick would be allowed to call you as a representative or a witness on her behalf. But at this time, since you're not listed as a plaintiff, I do need to ask you to leave this meeting. Thank you so much for your time.
You can watch, but you can't talk.
All right, Ms. Quick. We are here today for procedural matters, and unfortunately, you have not.
Hello.
Mr. Crosby, we are handling your matter. Please remain muted as we are talking.
You can't hear them. She doesn't know that.
Mr. Clerk, were you able to talk to him to identify him earlier? You were not. Okay. All right. Well, it seems like he can hear us.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Can you send him a message, Mr. Clerk, that he needs to find a more reasonable ways to talk to us, even if that includes maybe just calling in on a phone? All right, Ms. Quick. So in this situation, I do see the small claims form was filed. However, no proof of service was filed. So at this time, you would need to amend your small claims form, or if you have served Mr. Crosby, you need to file an affidavit of service or a proof of service. Did you serve Mr. Crosby?
Yes.
By which means?
Certified mail. All right, ma'am. So you need to fill out a piece of paper called the affidavit of service or proof of service. That's located either online, you can Google it, or you can come to the district court clerk's window and ask for that paperwork. You need to attach the certified mail stamp that shows that he did sign off upon receipt of receiving it. So, ma'am, I cannot proceed until that is filed because those are the two pieces of paper I need to be able to go forward either with trial or with resolution, however it may be. In your situation, ma'am, I will have to give you 2 weeks and able to be able to do this because it seems that Mr. Crosby is having difficulties with connecting to audio. So I would need a 2-week set over so that way we can
hear him
send him
just
notice about his new hearing. So that way he will be present. We're not wasting anybody's time, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Clerk, did you hear that? So we're going to set this over to October 5th. November 5th. I'm sorry, we're like right on the cusp on a new month. So November 5th at the new hearing will be at 9:30 a.m. So different time in courtroom 8. Login is exactly the same, Miss Quick, but it'll just be different time, different courtroom. Please know that you need to file your proof of service before the next date, or else I will have to dismiss this case and you will have to refile. And I know you've already gone through the process. So please know clerk's window or online it's called the affidavit of service or proof of service, and you will need to attach the certified mail stub to it as well. And we'll be sending notice to Mr. Larry Crosby about the new court date because it seems like there's some technical difficulties, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
For your time. See you back on November 5th.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, did you get that? Just because there was some issues just for notice. Okay, thank you. All right. Do we have Reeves here?
Hello? Oh, that was me. That would be funny.
Do we have a Fuller here?
I do not see a John Fuller.
All right. So in case 25S000149, plaintiff Jerry Reeves supposedly was present earlier, not present at this time. Respondent John Fuller is not present as well. We're going to go ahead and strike this hearing.
You just want to dismiss.
We're going to actually, yes, we're going to go ahead and dismiss this case based on the fact that the plaintiff is not here at this time. I'm going to dismiss without prejudice so that way he can refile if need be. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Let's go ahead and go to Jenny Coordinat and Michael Long.
And I don't see a Michael Long.
Okay.
Well, here's what I can do. Let me see if I can get a couple of those hellos.
All right, Ms. Coordinat, if you could please unmute.
Hello. That's what we get various versions.
I'm just reaching for paperwork. I apologize.
Yeah.
So we are here in matter 25S000152. We have plaintiff Jenny Coordinat present. I do not see the respondent Michael Long present, and I am once again double checking. So I do not see him present. Let me go ahead and once again confirm that we have the proper procedural documentation done, and if not, then I'll go ahead and grant you a default judgment.
It's an automatic win.
Let's look at the proof of service. I do see that here you did personal service on Mr. Long via.
She did personal service?
There's a signature of server. I apologize. I'm unable to read the signature. Who was that?
Keith Coordinate,
I'm sorry. I can barely hear you. Who?
Keith Coordinate, same last name as mine.
Okay.
Keith Coordinate, husband.
And he is not
son.
a witness in this matter?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. So this is in regards to a loan, $600 cashier's loan. I do not see him present. I'll go ahead and award you a default judgment in that amount. So let me go ahead and fill this out. Coordinate. Jenny is the plaintiff.
Sometimes just showing up is all you need to do to
Michael.
win.
And this is once again matter 25S000152. You are asking for $600. There's a $35 filing fee for filing this paperwork. Ma'am, was there any service fee associated with using Mr. Coordinate to serve Mr. Long?
No, there wasn't.
Yes, he charged me $100.
So your total judgment for today is $635 with a 9% post-judgment interest rate. I'll go ahead and sign off on this paperwork. This is paperwork that both you will be receiving and Mr. Long will be receiving on the addresses on file I have from the small claims form. At this time, this ends the involvement of the court, and Ms. Coordinate, it will be up to you to try to recoup that amount from Mr. Long. If after 30 days there is any issue with recuperation of the finances, please go online to the small claims form section of Cowlitz County District Court, and you can look what other options are available to you. Thank you for your time, ma'am.
Hello.
All right, let's do Jonathan Vigoran.
I like this judge. What's her name again?
Yes, please.
JPT Sanders. Drinking a tall. What is that she has there?
All right, to both parties, if you could please unmute. You muted opposite Mr. Vigoran. If you could please unmute.
He's going to say hello.
*6, star unmute. Perfect. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we're here in 25S000154. We have plaintiff Jonathan Vigoran present. We have the respondent, I apologize, Pro Service Auto Care present, represented by Brandy Wild, present as well. Today is purely procedural to both parties. First and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and look at the paperwork that has been submitted in this matter. First, we need to look at that there's proof of service. Obviously, both parties are here, but just to confirm, it looks like we...
It shows they've gone live. We're headed back to the Bottoms Up trial in Bad Axe, Michigan. I have to be careful how I say that. Where we think we have a verdict. We're listening in right now as the court has gone live once again. They appear to be standing, possibly waiting for the jury.
Please be seated.
That was a terrible recap, but here we go.
Court recalls the matter of People of the State of Michigan versus Ronald Francis Grady, 257251FH. Members of the jury have returned into the courtroom, and the court has been advised that the jury has reached a verdict in this case. Ms. Hatch.
Members of the jury, have you agreed upon a verdict? If so, who will speak for you?
One of us.
Please stand. Madam Foreman, how do you find the defendant?
We, the jury, find the defendant, Ronald Francis Grady, as follows. Count 1. Guilty of the offense of witness retaliation.
Members of the jury, listen to your verdict as recorded. You do say upon your oaths that you find the defendant, Ronald Francis Grady, as follows. Guilty of the offense of witness retaliation in manner and form as the people have in their information in this cause charged. So say you, Madam Foreman, so say you all members of the jury.
Is that correct?
Right.
Ms. Sitt, would you like the jury?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you need juror number 1.
Yep. Juror number 1, was that and is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 2, was that and is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 3, was that and is this your verdict? Juror number 4, was that and is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 5, was that and is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 6, was that and is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 7, was that and is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 8, was that and is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 9, was that and is this your verdict? Juror number 10, was that and is this your verdict? Juror number 11, was that and is this your verdict?
I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Juror number 11.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I was looking at the other juror.
Juror number 11, was that and is this your verdict? Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Juror number 12, was that and is this your verdict?
Thank you. Court accepts the verdict of the jury finding the defendant guilty of the charge contained in the information and direct entry of judgment to the charge contained therein.
I just noticed he's wearing a Harley Davidson jacket.
You may proceed.
Your Honor, the people will propose for exhibits 3, 4, and 5 pursuant to MCL 769.13, a certified criminal history certified by the Michigan State Police, a judgment of sentence from this honorable court, as well as a pre-sentence information report from the Michigan Department of Corrections for the same offense, which also shows those prior offenses.
And those have been marked?
Not as yet, Your Honor.
If they could.
So he's got a criminal record. Here's his PSI. It's a Harley coat, Harley Davidson. Looks nice. Sorry for the crackle. I need to use this channel for it right now. Maybe I can bring audio from this channel.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. With the admission of said exhibits, the people have proven beyond a reasonable doubt and met our standard that the defendant was a habitual fourth offender.
With any objection to the proposed exhibits? Thank you. People's 3, 4, and 5 are admitted. Indicates in People's Exhibit 3.
See if this is off. I might have the sync off here. Hang on.
The defendant on February 12, 1981 had been convicted of felony larceny over $100 at jury trial.
The audio is
that was on 2/12/1981. In People's 4 indicates the defendant was found guilty at jury trial March 1, 1984 to delivery of a controlled substance less than 50 grams. There were 3 counts. In People's Exhibit 5 indicates the defendant was convicted again of those 3 counts mentioned just a moment ago, making this habitual fourth. And the court so finds habitual fourth has been established by the people of the state of Michigan. Court was scheduled sentencing in this matter for December 15, 2025 at 9 a.m. Prior to sentencing, I'm ordering a pre-sentence investigation report to be prepared, provided to both counsel and the court at least 2 days prior to sentencing. Sentencing guidelines shall be scored 14 days prior to sentencing, provided to counsel. Any objection to the scoring of the guidelines must be filed in writing with the clerk of the court no later than 7 days from sentencing. Any objection to the scoring of the guidelines must also be provided that information to adult probation. The defendant must appear in the courtroom at time of sentencing. If there's any supporting documentation to the court, it must be submitted to the court no later than 7 days from sentencing. Any objection or written response must be filed 3 days thereafter. We'll address other matters in just a moment, but I'm going to excuse the jury. Members of the jury, I wish to thank you for your attention throughout this entire trial. I appreciate you honoring your summons and being here today and providing a very important service.
Hang on 1 second.
It's a commitment. That is sitting as a member, peer in our society, judging our fellow citizens relative to criminal charges or any charge or any civil matter that may be brought before the court. I appreciate your time throughout this. If you need any documentation from us as soon as you are excused, feel free to ask Ms. Hatch or Ms. McNames, and we'll provide that to you. As I stated before, you will not be called back again. Your jury service has concluded, and the checks that will be provided by the clerk's office will be sent for probably the end of the term, but it'll be sooner than that. So the old saying, the check is in the mail. We will get that to you. Again, at this point, you can discuss the case with anyone. You don't have to discuss it with anyone if you don't wish to, but I'm going to excuse you this time. Thank you for your time and attention. You are all rise, please.
Wow. habitual offender for something 40 years ago. That seems a bit steep. He is facing up to 10 years in prison, but the court does not look lightly on retaliation against witnesses. And he might get the book thrown at him. He might get a 10-year sentence out of this. Just jury's headed to the bottoms up bar. It's probably ready. We're on lunch as well. Just saying.
Your Honor, the jury has spoken. The defendant now stands convicted of a felony that carries prison presumptive guidelines with a tail of life in the Department of Corrections. The court has heard the evidence here. This is a serious felony in which the defendant is now convicted of witness retaliation. The people fear the potential for more retaliation now that he has been convicted on any of the witnesses who have testified before this honorable court today. And we also would indicate that with the potential for a life sentence, the defendant there is certainly an element of risk of flight. At this point, Your Honor, quite frankly, the defendant has nothing to lose. We're concerned and would ask under MCR 6.106 that the court revoke his bond.
Ms. Singh.
I ask the court to continue bond at this time. Mr. Grady has never presented himself to be a flight risk, nor have there been any issues on bond with this case. He works. He's gainfully employed. He also has upcoming medical appointments in regards to a physical injury that he had obtained. So he's never given any indication of being a flight risk, or the court doesn't have to worry about anything about potential contact or potential retaliation. There is still, I believe, the PPO is still in effect at this time. So.
Thank you. Are you aware whether personal protection order is still in effect?
It is my understanding that it has been renewed and is still in effect.
Well, the court has to consider MCR 6.106 relative to any release. Clearly, the jury has spoken. They've rendered their verdict in this case. The maximum sentence that could be imposed without habitual offender status would be up to 10 years in prison. However, for habitual fourth purposes, that potential 10-year maximum can be up to a life sentence as well. Now, what the court has found throughout the testimony here is, and I'm accepting the verdict of the jury clearly, but when the witnesses testified, the jury found the defendant guilty. They based it upon the evidence presented regarding this shoulder bump, or however you want to describe it, more aggressive. The testimony also considered the statements that were made by the defendant according to the victim's testimony as well. Fortunately, nothing else happened other than that. So, and the personal protection order was in effect at the time. The personal protection order was not brought before the court's attention for an alleged violation. It was basically brought to the court's attention based upon the behaviors of the defendant that night on December 27th, 2024. When the court looks at the prior record of the defendant as well, and I'm considering the habitual primarily, the convictions for the defendant, the 3 felony convictions regarding controlled substances, were in this court in 1994. Also, malicious destruction of personal property over $100, that was in 1982. The other conviction was in 1981, larceny over $100. Those convictions are old. There's no doubt about it. They're not erased. They're not being considered. They are to be considered by the court. But I have to look at what we have currently until now, and it appears to the court that up until today, the last felony conviction for the defendant was back in 1994.
So 30 years ago.
Over 30 years ago. As a result, bond in this case, despite the fact that the tail can be a maximum of up to life, bond is going to continue as previously said. However, the court is going to add another condition. That is that the defendant is to be fitted with a GPS tether or some sort of tracking device through pretrial services. That is to be done today. Hopefully it can be done today before 4:30. Hopefully the staff is there to address that. But bond is going to continue, and Mr. or Ms. Siv, your client's address, I don't want to give full address, but It's still the same location as the Thomas Road address is still.
No, Your Honor, it is, he does have a new address. It's
There's a new address.
So here's the most important thing of all, though, Mr. Grady. Yes, sir. No direct, no indirect contact pursuant to the personal protection order, number one, of formerly Ms. Pratt, now, sorry, I forgot, Ms. Gibbard, Mrs. Gibbard. Also, no direct, and it's probably been ordered, no direct or indirect contact with Mr. Gibbard as well. Bottom line for you is, if you see those individuals pursuant to the personal protection order relative to to Mrs. Gibbard, and now with this conviction here, you see them, you immediately turn around, walk out, don't say a word, and leave. We have an understanding.
Yes, sir. Would the court consider adding a condition on a prohibition of alcohol and being in businesses where alcohol is sold for consumption on the premises?
I wasn't sure if that was previously ordered, but the court will order that as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything further for the record?
Nothing from the people.
This is.
Wow.
Thank you, everyone. That'll conclude the proceedings. We'll go off the record. We'll see everyone on December 15th. Bond continues as otherwise stated.
Bond continues. They go off the record. That is crazy. No drinking. You can't go to bottoms up anymore. That's for sure. I was thinking that 10 years seemed a little steep, right? For the type of threat. Obviously he was drinking. Okay. Not smart. He is responsible for his actions. Being drunk is not an excuse. But for wanting to fight the guy, I mean, yeah, it's right. The jury's verdict was right, but I thought 10 years would be like, yeah, that's on the high end. Seems a little steep for the, what actually occurred, right? Three prior felonies puts him in the fourth habitual offender status, and he could be facing life in prison. Life in prison. Judge looked at the time between his priors and now and basically said, I'm going to keep him out on bond with a GPS. I don't know. I'm nervous. I would have preferred to be in custody and have a lighter sentence than out of custody and facing life. But I guess I couldn't control what his priors were. So sentencing to follow. All right. Let's see. That takes us to 341. Our other court ended. She's done. Let's see. I have to find that one again. That was a fun little court. Fulton County's still doing a little bit. I've got a prank call on the phone. Let's do this one. Hello? Hello?
Hello, my name is Michael, calling from Trusted Insurance on a recorded line. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Michael.
The reason of my call is to let you know about some discounted quotas on auto insurance because rates have just dropped down with a huge margin. So I believe you have a car and you have a car insurance.
They said mine was going to go up.
What, sir? I can't understand.
They said my rates were going to go up on account of the incident.
I'm not asking you to make any changes right away on this call. What we'll do is our insurance specialist will share quotations to let you know the rate. You can look at the rate, make a comparison with your current plan. If you see a difference, you can go ahead. Okay, sir?
I hear you.
Okay. So you have a car and you have a car insurance, right?
I have several of them.
Okay. What is the make and model of your vehicle?
I have a Lamborghini Countach.
Lamborghini, which model?
Is it Countach?
No, what is the model?
That is the model. It's a Countach.
Okay.
And I have... Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
I have a 89 Ferrari Testarossa.
A
A f-
B9.
No, 1989 Ferrari
Wait a second.
Testarossa.
1989
That's the year.
Ferrari.
Ferrari
Yes.
Testarossa.
Okay.
That's the model. And
Okay, sir.
I have my daily
I
driver
bel
is a Yugo.
uh Okay, I believe you are a good driver, so you don't have any GUI tickets and accident in the last 2 years, right?
Oh, I've got tickets. I've got
Okay,
tickets.
you have got tickets. Oh,
The
no, no
cars are
problem. And I
very
believe you.
fast.
Okay,
Not the
okay.
Yugo,
And
but the others are.
okay. And I believe you have a valid U.S. driver's license for the past 2 years.
It's still valid. It's pending a decision, but it's still valid right now.
Okay, sir. For the verification purpose, can what's your first and the last name?
Dwayne Bourne.
Uh, what's your name, sir?
Dwayne Bourne.
Okay, spell your name, sir. First and last.
The first name is D as in dog.
D
Hyphen W A
D W
N
A
E. It's Dwayne
N E.
with the hyphen.
Dwayne. And
So-
what's the last one?
Bourne. B O
B-O-U.
R N, and
R.
the E is silent on the end. E.
Okay, sir. Okay. What's your zip code, sir?
My zip code is where the cars are or where I am now.
Sir. Kindly, it's for verification purpose.
Oh, for my
What's
zip
your
code?
zip code?
Eight,
Yes.
84321. That is Logan, Utah.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Logan, Utah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I can see it. I'm just verifying you. Can you please state your phone number for verification?
801 513 1160.
Can you repeat it?
801 513 1160.
Sir, what is the name of your current insurance provider?
I have multiples. I use Progressive and Geico.
Spell it.
Progressive. Oh, I'm sorry, spelling. Right.
Progressive.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Sir,
Geico,
perfect.
the one with the little lizard. I use that one.
Okay. Sir, perfect. Let's go ahead and get you started. I'm going to transfer my call to my senior supervisor. Okay, sir?
Okay. Will he have all this
Just
information, or will I have to tell him as well?
No, he will just ask you about minor ones, not to the all one. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, just stay on the line, sir.
So it seems like you have Lamborghini 1989, right?
The 89 is the Ferrari Testarossa.
Tester, okay, Ferrari. And what is the model of Lamborghini?
The Huracan.
Hurricane.
Huracan.
What is the model of? Okay, Hurricane.
Right.
And yeah, you're a good driver, so you don't have any DUI tickets and accident in the last 3 years.
The way you asked that question, I can say I have some.
You have some what?
I don't have any DUI tickets, but I have a lot of speeding tickets. They are very fast cars. They're very hard to drive slowly.
Okay. I understand. And I believe you have a valid U.S. driver's license for the past 3 years.
I do.
Okay, so sir, what's your first and last name?
Dwayne Bourne. He said I wouldn't
Okay.
have to do this. He said he was going to give you all my information.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your zip code is 84321, right?
Logan, Utah. That's correct.
Okay, that's good, sir. So, perfect, sir. Let's go ahead and get you started. This is going to be quick for you and could save you hundreds, okay? I'm going to go ahead. So, I have a insurance specialist. I'm just going to connect your call to the insurance specialist. They will go ahead and gather the best rates available in your area so you can start saving money right away. So I'm going to make an inbound call on your behalf.
Uh, I get another person? I won't have to, you'll transfer. Hello? He hung up on me. He hung up on me. He didn't want to know about my Yugo. I have a Yugo GVS that I was going to tell him all about, but man, bummer. I'm sure they could have made a killing on that car insurance with those nice cars. You know, $250,000 cars will do that. Do not have those cars, just for the record. Let me just set this straight. I do not have those cars. I don't even have Lego versions or even Hot Wheels versions of those cars. But all right, where were we? We were looking at court to see if we had anything else to cover today before we wrap it up for the day. Looking forward to, Judge McAfee is doing something. What's he doing? He has a Zoom meeting going. Hang on one second.
Not presented in discovery, and the court has excluded it on the basis that it was not disclosed timely.
And I just would add that this is I think something I don't want to, we just want to stumble through here, because I've also come across cases. The one that was last month was a late disclosed witness, and exclusion was found reversible. So exclusion generally being the harshest sanction, I think you're supposed to start with, is this a continuance? Is this a mistrial? And work through the reasons why that's not feasible.
I like that he's fixed his audio.
But I think we need to put our hands on a case that deals with this exact situation.
Yeah. And I'm not excluding the expert per se. I'm excluding going beyond what was offered in discovery.
Okay. Let me turn it over to Mr. Pye, and we just might have to hold in place while
it's a boring civil trial, says Josh. So we're gonna skip on the judge, even though he has great audio now. He's really, really improved his audio in that courtroom. I watched as they were updating it and testing it out. It is so much better than it used to be. We'll have to go watch some there soon. All right. So we already had Huron County. That one's done with a verdict. Whoa. What's going on? Hang on. This is live in Dallas, Fort Worth. Just, that looks scary. Semi-truck looks like it was hauling 2 cars, has gone over the edge and is hanging precariously over the edge. Oh, it slammed into that wall. Look, it completely just took a bite out of that. That is some scary stuff. All right. I still am working on the hello soundbite. Oh, they've got a tow truck. Look, they've got the fire truck hooked to it to keep it from going over, putting some pressure on it. But that thing just nailed that wall. Wild. All right. A crazy day is going on right now. That's what's happening. Let's see if there's anything else we need to view in the world of courts. I don't think we're up. Oh, Burnett. Burnett was live. It's not live now. Judge Simpson, not live now. He's covering somebody else. Burnett is live. Nope, they're at break. Attorney Bruce Anderson, ABA, not here. All right, anything else? If not, I think we might wrap for the day. Eviction court in Wisconsin, not going there. Who was this? That was what we just watched. We had something in Fulton, right? Was it still going? Let's check out Fulton really quickly.
Find out who we were talking about.
Dontavius Weiss, position 31. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
16. He got open theft by receiving obstruction. Suspended license 25 SC 002114. He has a bench warrant, 2 probations from last year, 2024 obstruction conviction,
That's
27.
good. That's good. Thank you. Mr. Rhodes, what's the bond recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. As it relates to Mr. Wise, the state is recommending a $5,000 good bond, $2,500 on each of the theft by receiving stolen property charges. We're asking that he stay away from 4736 Best Road, Weston. Also stay away from.
We don't need all these addresses of the stores that he needs to stay away from where he's committed crimes in the past.
The other act in this case was taking place. That he undergoes an anti-theft course while out on bond, and that he has no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Your Honor, this did stem from October 10th of this year. Officers received information in regards to a theft that occurred at that Weston Hotel in College Park.
At the hotel.
That on October 1st, caller called and said that from their vehicle, a blue iPhone 13 Pro Max was stolen that was valued at $500.
That's a little high for an iPhone 13.
And then when they did their investigation, they found out that that phone, along with a white, on October 1st, from a red 2018 Ford F-150, that another white iPhone 14 Pro Max was also stolen, valued at $700. Mr. Vasquez, who is the victim, indicated that he realized that both phones were in fact stolen. Both iPhones were sold and pawned by Mr. Dontavius to Marcus Wise on October 3rd, 2025. The blue iPhone Pro Max was sold and pawned at 7:30 p.m. and the white iPhone 14 Pro Max was sold and pawned at roughly around 7:25, just minutes before, and it was at that Kroger's located at the 3030 Hetland Drive. The sale was made through what they call an eco ATM system at that store, where Mr. Wise is seen selling both stolen iPhones by camera on the eco ATM. Mr. Wise sold the blue iPhone for $50 and the white iPhone Pro for $85. And Mr. Wise's identification was confirmed because in order to make the sale, he had to give the machine his driver's license. So his identity was confirmed through the eco ATM, Your Honor. Given the defendant's criminal history and the fact that he has probation violations, failure to appear as an open case, we do believe that a surety bond is we're suggesting a surety bond in this particular case, and we already gave you that amount, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. McLean?
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Wise, if I might, let me scroll back here to some notes. Mr. Wise is 26 years old. He's quite local, living on Ormwood and 30312. Give him a bond. It's not a signature bond because the FTA, which is noted in the PSA, and he is aware of. We would ask the court to give him the lowest possible bond considering the circumstances, pointing it's not a violent crime. Thank you.
It's $150 cash on each count. That's a $300 cash bond. And we will, no illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and we'll see him in court on November 4th.
We'll see you in court.
Thank you.
Your Honor, any position on the stayaways or not at this time?
I'm not sure who to stay away is theft by receiving. Well, I think he should get the message that maybe an eco ATM is not the appropriate venue. So,
thank you, Judge.
Sell it somewhere else.
All right. Any other cases in courtroom 2?
We have position 22.
And I also represented position 19, Mr. Leverett. There was a consent bond in that case.
Okay. Is he in the courtroom? Well, let's do 22 first. And Tuare Lawrence Mohammed is accused of terroristic threats and acts. And this is from October 20th of 2025.
That sounds
Mr.
severe.
Mohammed, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean. And your case number is 25 CR 6586E. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
8. Last was 06, Step RC.
Okay.
8 priors.
Miss Evans Battle?
Yes, and I believe, Mr. Howard, there were some violent history associated with this defendant back then. I understand it's been, 20-some years, but this situation was at the City Hall in East Point. He's an employee, or I'm not sure if he's still an employee, and the other person is an employee there as well. We're asking for a $3,000 surety bond, that he have no further contact with Oliver Brown, that he not be on the property unless he is so employed to be on the property. The location of the incident was 2757 East Point Street in East Point, Georgia, that he complete at least 3 anger management classes.
Terroristic
if the court is
threats.
so inclined to give him a surety bond. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Mr. McLean, on the terroristic threats, it's going to be a 3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1, in person. No further contact with Oliver Brown. Stay away from the City Hall in East Point. Stay 200 yards away. He's not allowed inside that building. No
you need a new
illegal
job.
drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and I'll need him to do 2 anger awareness classes while he reports to pretrial. If he fails to report to pretrial, if he contacts Mr. Brown in any way, form, or manner, or discusses him on social media, then he will be in violation of the bond, and it will be surrendered, and he'll be back in jail. Now, I know I'm keeping him away from a government building, so unless if he wants to have a legitimate reason to enter the building, he would need to petition the court by motion and get an order to lift that bond condition. Next court date will be sent to his current residential address.
Wow.
If I might consult with him just a moment, Your Honor, I believe. Mr. Muhammad?
Yes.
Currently, is there any reason other than official business that you might have with city government of East Point? Is there any reason such as employment that is current as opposed to suspended or terminated for you to be in that building?
Yes, I'm going to contest the termination.
Okay.
You're not allowed in the building to contest the petition.
No, it'll be by email.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to Joshua Butler, the council person, to see if he can resolve this.
Okay.
Very good.
Like I said, if he needs to enter the building for a legitimate business reason, he must obtain a court order lifting this bond condition. Thank you.
Just want to make sure we were clarified. Thank you.
All right, courtroom 2, do we have anyone else?
I want to know what this lady down at the bottom is from Fulton,
Yeah.
CDC.
Was there a position 19 that was supposed to be in the courtroom?
Yes, Judge.
I mean, if that person's not in the courtroom, we can just allocate the terms as long as they understand the release terms.
No, he's not in.
Okay. Position 19, Ms. Wills, your client is Royce Leverett, accused of fair evasion and criminal trespass from October 20th, 2025, case number 25 CR 6588E.
He's not even here.
This is a consent bond order. Ms. Evans Battle, what are the terms?
Yes, it's for a total of $1,500. As to the fare evasion, $500 signature pretrial services level 2 in this particular case, based on his history. Criminal trespass,
Fair
it
evasion.
would be $1,000 signature
Skipped paying
bond,
the
pretrial
bus fee.
services level 2. That he stay away from all MARTA locations and complete the terms of his suspension, that he meet with the social worker and follow those recommendations, and no further violations of the law, no alcohol, weapons, or drugs while out on bond.
And Ms. Wills, are these the terms to which your client agreed?
All that for skipping.
Yes, Your Honor, and I
for
have
not paying for the
communicated those
bus.
terms to my client, and a social worker visit has already been completed.
All right, and he understands he has to report to pretrial twice a month, correct?
That I did not communicate with him.
And that he has to stay away from all MARTA property in accordance with the suspension.
Yes, he is aware of all
MARTA.
the other conditions.
Well, he needs to know that
Public
he needs to
transport.
report to pretrial twice a month, otherwise it will be surrendered.
Okay. All right. Is there anyone in courtroom 2 that's able to either communicate that, or if am I able to get in touch with Mr. Leverett?
Do you have his phone number?
He's in jail.
No, I don't.
He's in custody, isn't he?
Does he have an address?
Maybe he gave it to us. Position 19.
Does he have an address?
I'm going to find out too.
I didn't ask for his address.
On Odyssey, he has an address 39
We don't need his address.
apartment 16 331.
123 Sesame Street. Thank you.
Number
Purple
is
Coconut.
7.
8675309.
And he
That's
did
on
indicate, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
He did indicate to the social worker that he does have housing.
Okay. It's just that twice a month. I don't want him to jeopardize his pretrial.
Understood. Thank you, Judge.
Does he know he has to report to pretrial?
No, I will need to communicate with Mr. Leverett, his obligations reporting to pretrial.
You want me?
You know, Your Honor, if I may interject, my understanding of whenever they get a pretrial release, a pretrial officer does speak to them before they leave the jail.
Is that correct, Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Okay. Could you make a note to emphasize that he has to report
Do we know
in
how the
person
system
twice a
works?
month?
Who, me?
Yes, or whoever does the interview with him.
Who, me?
They're going to read what's on the bond order.
Okay.
I don't
All
do
right.
that.
Now, hopefully he understands. Thank you.
Hopefully.
All right. Any other cases in courtroom 2?
Want to see what
Position 18.
Mhm. Position 18, I have Wesley Kapchunos, simple battery family violence from October 21st, case 25 CR 6577E. Mr. Kapchunos, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean. Any priors?
Oh, guess that's my cue. No.
First arrest? Okay. And Ms. Evans Battle, what's the recommendation?
We're asking for a $2,000 surety bond.
Want to see
No
what the lady's in for.
further violent contact with his son, Max Wood, who is the victim in this case. And if the court is so inclined, because of his lack of history, to give a signature bond, we are asking that he complete 8 anger management classes minimally. This seemed as if it was a pretty violent act, and based on that, that's why we're asking for the surety bond.
Okay. Mr. McLean, this is going to be a 1,500 signature bond through pretrial services level 1. I'll allow for telephonic reporting. No further violent contact with, is it Max Wood? Is that the son's name?
Lenient.
Yes,
You can
Your
have
Honor.
contact, just
Okay.
not violent.
He may return to the location if he's cohabitating with Mr. Wood. And Mr. Kapchunas, I need you to do 4 anger awareness classes while you are reporting to pretrial once a month. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no firearms. If you own any firearms, they need to be surrendered to the authorities for destruction within 10 days of being released. Thank you.
And Your Honor, my understanding is the stepson has left the residence. I spoke to the family at their.
Oh. Well, that should make contact a little easier, but if he comes visiting, just no violent altercations. Thank you. Any other cases in courtroom 2?
How about ACDC?
No? Okay. I'm just going to go into a brief breakout. We can pause the recording in the live stream.
And they break down. All right, so instead now what we're going to do is go to Judge Dad, who had a spicy moment that we missed this afternoon while we were in court with Huron. Judge Dad, where are you at? We are at 1:54:12. Here we go.
And then you come back, okay?
Okay.
Best of luck to you. Thank you.
Likewise, Dad. All right, green guy in back.
Antoine Torrance, 25B149389, A and B and C. And I also have 25B149398. And then I also have a sentencing here.
Yes, sir.
On file 25B148681A. Sir, your name?
Lisa might be in the
Attorney
car.
Mike Baldwin, House Counsel. Judge, as to 898 B, C, and 98, today is the date and time set for arraignment, pretrial for purposes of arraignment. On those 4 matters, my client stands mute and waives formal reading of the general information and complaint. We're asking that this be scheduled for a subsequent pretrial date.
Not guilty pleas are entered. We have a possession of a controlled substance, open end talk, super drunk. And no ops. I'm entering not guilty pleas on all of those. Where does your client work at?
I'll allow him an opportunity. I didn't see that. He's unemployed for 2 years. He received Social Security disability. He's also got to go before the Forensic Center. He's got a date of October 23rd tomorrow to report to a law firm. There's some judicial reason. It looks like he's in front of Bradley Cobb on a forensic appointment case. So it looks like he's going in for a forensic
I
investigation.
need a bond sheet.
Judge, on the 81A case, today's the date time set for sentencing.
I don't want to talk about that. I'm setting a bond yet, still.
Okay, yes.
He's got a horrible record.
Horrible.
He's got a prior.
Horrible.
He's got a prior drug charge from 05. He's got a prior impaired charge from 12. He's got another drug charge from 25. He's got a jury trial scheduled on another drug charge next year.
Wow. He's not in and out of the system. He is the system.
I don't know, you know.
First of all, he's showing up for every court hearing. I just want to make sure that I'm aware of. There was one bench warrant on the Register of Actions for 98, but because he was incarcerated. Yes, thank you. 81.
He had crack and marijuana. They're recommending jail.
They are. And Your Honor, we discussed this. He went in May of last year, May 29th, I think was the incident date. For reasons which I can't figure out, he was apparently not arraigned on my case. He wasn't arraigned until July 2nd. And
What case?
On the, this case that we're on, Judge, the 81 case.
No, he wasn't arraigned until August 27th.
Well, there was a note.
He didn't show up on July the 2nd. He didn't show up on July 16. He posted a bond on July 30. He was arraigned on August 27th. Then we adjourned it to September 10th and the 24th. And then he pled on the 24th.
The rub is this. He was picked up on May 29th. the incident date, he went into Wayne County Jail on the 30th of May, and he sat in there for 2 months. And the question is, why wasn't he arraigned?
And that's why I didn't even know the court date. And
He was oblivious.
Well, it must have been on another case.
That's what I explained to my client, that it looked like to me, but it doesn't change the fact that the incident happened on the 29th. He's brought into custody. So they know that there's this allegation of a controlled substance charge, and he's not arraigned, so he's sitting in jail without jail credit. We would ask that the court, and I'm going to respect my client's request, I'm going to ask the court to give him any jail credit that he's entitled to if this court were.
Well, he's going to have to provide us with some proof.
That he was in jail?
Yeah, I mean, hang on a second. Slow down.
Now, my client is asking me to ask the court, and I will, for probation.
Well, I get it, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to sentence him today.
And wait until we do the,
He can get his proof, but on this case, I'll give you a personal bond on this drunk driving, but you're not going to be released until you're fitted with a SoberLink device. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you're going to have to be fitted with a SoberLink device.
as a bond condition.
As a bond condition. So I'll give you a personal bond, but you're going to be, sir, you're going to be taken downtown, and you're going to remain in custody until they can fit you with a SoberLink. This is crazy. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court or violate a law. You must appear in court as directed. No alcohol, no marijuana, no illegal drugs. Slow down. Let me talk.
He wants.
Hang on. I'm not done.
Yes, Judge.
AANA 4 times a week, not to be released until fitted with a SoberLink device.
Yes, sir.
What's the problem?
First of all, let me finish something.
And then I'll I'll set a pretrial on this, and I'll set the sentencing date over on the other one.
So that, Your Honor, I'm going to just emphasize to my client, I know.
What does he want? He's agitating me right now.
I'm sorry, sir, but like.
What do you want?
If I
He wants to go to his forensic appointment.
I'll get in trouble for this.
When is that?
Tomorrow. And that's what I was trying to say.
You don't have the money to get your own SoberLink.
I do have money. I have money, sir. If you would just give me another day, I could.
No.
Tomorrow after this appointment, so I don't violate my.
Looks like he's got to be at the forensic evaluation.
Here's the problem.
On October 23rd at 9 a.m.
He's going to have to deal with somebody else because, sir, I don't trust him. Knock it off. Do not argue with me. Otherwise, I'm setting a real high cash bond here. I am not about to argue with you. You're awaiting sentencing and you go and pick up a drunk driving. Your record's horrible. No wonder they're recommending jail. They do not give me enough money to argue with people, and I'm not starting today.
I'm sorry.
Have a seat. That's the order of the court. We're going to give them a new date, Lisa, as soon as we can on these. These are out of Brownstown. So what day do you want to give them? In other words, I'm adjourning the sentencing to that date and the pretrials on the other case.
Judge, my understanding is once he's fitted with the SoberLink, he's ready to go against personal bond.
Correct. Sir! Shut up and sit down.
That's one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Go ahead, Lisa.
November 5th at 8:30.
November 5th at 8:30. Those are going to be the dates.
Yep.
I'm going to
What was his bond amount?
I'm going to rewind that. Hang on.
I'm setting of 2,500 personal on the new cases, but I'm not going to let him be released until fitted with a GPS, until fitted with a SoberLink device. So I'll set that November 5th at 8:30, and we're going to have to do a minimus that indicates that, and I hope they can fit him with it today, but
We're backing
There's
up.
just
We're
not
backing up.
as we can on these. These are out of Brownstown. So what day do you want to give them? In other words, I'm adjourning the sentencing to that date and the pretrials
Judge
on the
Dad.
other case.
Judge, my understanding is once he's fitted with the sober link, he's ready to
Correct,
go. He has a
correct.
personal bond.
Correct. Sir, shut up and sit down.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
His hand's like shaking. He is so mad.
Go ahead, Lisa.
November 5th at 8:30.
Wow.
November 5th at 8:30. Those are going to be the dates.
The judge yelled, "Sir, shut up and sit down."
What was his bond amount?
I'm setting of 2,500 personal on the new cases, but I'm not going to let them be released until fitted with a GPS, until fitted with a SoberLink device. So I'll set that November 5th at 8:30, and we're going to have to do a minimus that indicates that, and I hope they can fit them with it today, but there's
little
just
late.
not enough confidence that I have that he's not going to go out and do something else. So that's what I'm
4:20.
doing.
That sit down was sit down in the box to be processed.
Deborah
in-
Jan Daly, 25B1494888A and B.
Your Honor, I believe Mr. Mason is in with Judge Coleman's Hessen's courtroom. If the court could please temporarily pass the matter.
Ma'am, come on up here, ma'am. I'm just gonna get you out of here. You've been waiting all day.
She's
Your
like,
name?
"Don't you want to break first?"
Good. Fill in right here. Your name? Your name, Mr. Baldwin?
Jan Davis.
Attorney Mike Baldwin filling in with permission for Mr. Mason.
So you want to stand mute, wait for my reading? Is that what it's going to do? Not guilty, please entered. I'm going to give you another court date. November the 5th. At, what do you think, Lisa?
11.
At 11 a.m. Okay, ma'am? And you're going to have to fill out a petition for a court-appointed lawyer going forward, okay? Thank you.
All right, and what was her bond, Judge?
I'm giving her a $500 personal bond. You cannot leave the state without consent. You cannot violate a law. You must appear in court as directed. Do you understand all that?
Attorney walks in. He's like, "Hey,
All
why
right,
is
so
my
we'll give you a
client talking to
petition
the
for
judge?"
court appointed, fill it out, then go down the hall, get your notice. Wish you well. Jonathan Patrick Johnson. Jonathan Patrick Johnson, 25B1489318.
Attorney Mike Baldwin.
I think we saw this one. This is where we came in.
65417.
Mr. Johnson.
All right. Whew. Wow. Sir, shut up and sit down. Oh, man. Well, I hope you had a great day today. I know I did. It's only 4:22, but we're going to wrap things up right now. What is SoberLink? SoberLink is think of it like a GPS device. It's that constantly monitors your drug intake, alcohol intake. It's 24/7 monitoring. Okay, so you guys want Sir? The problem is it's not a good soundbite. It was muted by the court's audio system because it exceeded the levels the audio system's allowed to process. So it's a poor soundbite. It sniffs your leg for alcohol. That's pretty much it. JMR, thank you for that. SoberLink. I want the hello sound bites. I'm working on hello right now. What I have so far is
And Anna Tina Quick and Katie Fraley would be.
I've got the judge I'm working on. I've got the clip, but I've got to cut all the different hellos out and export them individually and then have them all linked to one command in, and we'll work on that. I've got that. I've got that saved. He broke the audio. We need hello. Hello is more important, I think, than sir. Because we can use hello many times. The sir is rare. Take your time. It'll be worth it for those. Hush. Hello from the other side. I think that's all. I think we're done for today. Tomorrow, the Duran case starts back up again. We had a one-day break. Tonight, we have the podcast, and it will be decided for once and for all, worldwide, We are settling the dispute over candy corn.
You don't put a diplomatic plate on a hoop.
And yes, I am ending a little bit early today so I can make sure I have enough time so that I can go to the store and get candy corn myself. Because in celebration of the impending win, which I envision, I will be eating candy corn. So it'll be good. Hello, I love you. Hello, it's me. Grout dance. Don't dance on the tile. If they just said it, just look from a distance. Don't stand. It's not ready yet. Candy corn is not candy or corn. Jim, we can't be friends now. Don't forget the pumpkins. Pumpkins are out front already. We've got them all on the steps. Candy corn, yes. All right. All right, that's where we're going to leave it right now. There's our ending song. Podcast tonight, 8 p.m. right here on this channel. Please be here for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. What's the comp on the podcast? What's the comp? Candy corn's going to win. That's the lowdown. Candy corn is great. Candy corn is terrible. It's basically sugar. It's colored sugar. That's all it is. Yes, Brock's candy corn. There's no better. We're gonna have to do a poll. Yes, put it to the people to vote. Candy corn is wax. There's some wax, some sugar, and some food coloring. It's yummy. But anything else you're gonna get in your trick-or-treat bag is gonna have more wax than this. I'm telling you. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe. We will live again tonight with the Not Relevant podcast at 8 p.m. Thomas and I will be here settling the candy corn dispute with music. I might add, with music. So be here for that. We will see you tonight. You guys be good to each other. And then after that, tomorrow morning, we're going to return to the Dustin Duran trial, which took a day break today. They'll be back again tomorrow. So we'll pick that up where we left off. So have a good one, everybody. We will see you tonight. Be good to each other. We'll see you. Ooh, that was loud.
There's nothing in the order that restrains you from talking to cats. Fine, I'll bet the cat.
Thank you, sir. You're my new best friend.